Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another healthy dose talking about YN behavior or YB or female YB, which or YN behavior, whichever one you feel offended about. I guess that's the one that you belong directly in. Because some people are wondering how it is that we got to this extent, to this point, and having a second live stream, having to talk about the exact same nonsense again. Well, let me just say that this came directly underneath a video of which I uploaded for people to see. And I'm going to play that video here. And then we're going to go over the comments that some lovely folks directly out there decided to, want to state how it is that they wanted to scapegoat, how it is that they wanted to blame somebody else who has nothing to do with it, right? What is up, Pink? What is up, Bushido? What is up, Lavender? What is up? What is up? So I'm gonna let y'all listen and look at this video, and then we're going to get into the comments that a few people left behind.
Go. Ain't no usually. You know how many kids out here?
Don't worry.
How many kids is out here? I'm not done talking. You don't. You shut up.
Sorry, okay?
Because you made him call her a bitch and kept calling her a bitch, and you didn't say nothing about it. So you got some right point now. Now say sorry, and I'll whoop your ass out here.
sorry already.
But you ever call no child ass? Ever.
Look at that. Sorry, baby.
He about to tear her ass up when they get home.
I am so sorry.
Don't make this fool.
I said I'm sorry already. I said I'm sorry.
Another one.
I'm never going to again.
Dumb
I'm
motherfucker.
sorry.
Hey, how y'all doing? What is up? What is up? So we were y'all heard and saw the video, right? Let me know. Let me know real quick, because if not, I could just replay it again, just in case. Okay. So because I'm looking at what's up, Third Eye? So okay, y'all were able to see the video. So my main point that I was trying to convey, and I said that somewhere in the video, that I'm like, I'm tired of trying to convey certain points about, safety, about, worrying about an individual's life and caring about, what could potentially happen, all of the what ifs, and, don't put yourself in a dangerous situation being a woman. Basically, I was saying all of that, but again, it was in a whole different tone. And obviously, it went over some people's heads. The main point that I said was that this tall ass woman decided that she wanted to get into a man's face. And again, it was obviously a man that she was obviously taller than and she outweighed, right? That's why she felt bold enough to get directly into a man's face. Now, like I said in the video, if it was somebody that was the height of Shaq, I'm pretty sure she would have second guessed that. Her words would have been vastly different and she would have been stepping about 10 to 15 feet back, because just one touch from a guy that large would have easily knocked her down as if she was a 7-year-old child. So that woman decided that she wanted to get into a man's face because she didn't like the way that he was talking to his daughter. Okay, cool, fine. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can agree, like, hey, nobody should be talking to their daughter or their children in that manner. Wait, cool, no problem. Let's square that directly to the side. But for you to intervene and to get into somebody's face in business, and then on top of that, as a woman, you want to get into a man's face in business, and then on top of that, knowing the fact that you're armed, you want to then put your body up against his, and then you want to smush him. You want to basically assault this man over a child, over a family that is not yours. That's a little bit weird to me. That's a little bit crazy. And then not only that, you somewhere amongst what was going on noticed that the guy, as he was holding his crying daughter because she's crying because you're hollering, running up on him and doing all this rah rah rah, he noticed that you have a gun, didn't say nothing, but you obviously saw him look directly at it as he was backing away. You were like, oh, you worried about this? Don't even worry about that. And then you sat up there and tossed the gun to the side to the point where it came directly out of whatever holster that you had. And it could have still had one in the chamber. Not even sure if the weapon was directly on safety or not, but that gun could have landed, and mistakes happen, and people have died for less. and you still proceeded to get into this man's face talking about you going to beat him up and this, that, and the third, and all this other. Yo, like I said before, I could have sworn black people were supposed to be minding their business. I could have sworn like this was a part of like the same mixture of groupings of people, individuals that don't care nothing for black women at all. But yet I'm looking at a black woman who is armed that decided to get into a man's face because she felt comfortable enough because of height and weight and because she has a license to carry. But mind you, all of that rah that she's doing, talking about protection, she could have very easily dropped that gun, bow. A bullet could have just shot off. And guess who it might have hit? But like I said before, you got a lot of folks that don't want to care about the actual protection. It's more so for the theatrics. Somebody said, play it again. I got you, no problem. Hold on. Let me roll it directly back.
I know. I usually don't.
Ain't no usually. You know how many kids out here?
Don't worry.
How many kids is out here? I'm not done
I'm
talking.
serious.
You shut up.
Sorry, okay?
Because you made him call her a bitch and kept calling her a bitch and you didn't say nothing about it. So you got some right point now. Now say sorry. And I'll whoop your ass out here.
Sorry already.
Don't you ever call no child ass. Ever.
Look at that. Sorry, baby.
He about to tear her ass up when they get home.
I am so sorry.
Don't make this fool.
I said I'm sorry already.
Look at this. Going to the slide.
I'm never going to again.
Acting big and bold. Now, let me just let y'all know something. If this was in any, let's say that this was in like the hood somewhere, and you got some YNs around, as soon as she would have dropped that gun, they would have picked it up and ran off with it. She was blessed. She was blessed that she was in the area that she was in, because in any other area that she would have never gotten that back, and more than likely she would have got robbed by her own weapon that she just dropped. Do you understand the stupidity that took place? And so now let me go to the comments, right? So I had a few that decided that they wanted to make this about black men. Color me surprised. Color me surprised when I open up my comment section after I woke up, bright shining early in the afternoon. And one of the main comments that I saw was a woman in here talking about black men are cowards. This whole video, I want everybody to understand that this video had nothing to do with black men. It had nothing to do with black men. It had nothing to do with black men. But somehow, some way, there's always an opportunist. There's always somebody theorizing about a magical black man or black men and always wanting to bring them into something that has nothing to do with nothing. Now, I want to note that you saw 3 to 4 men of that community directly there within eyeshot. One black woman was recording. Another black woman decided that she wanted to act. I could have sworn, just going by the notion that I've heard from those out there like the divestors, I could have sworn that they said that men of other nations, of other cultures, ethnicities, they take care of their children in their communities. If that is the case, then why didn't this black woman stand down and be a woman and let the man handle those situations? Why did she feel the need that she needed to take on the role of a man of another community? Isn't this the exact same thing that a lot of black women say, that they're tired of being, quote unquote, the men in the black community? They're tired of the laboring. They're tired of the hard working, tired of being the backbone, tired of, putting everything together. Right? So how is it that you be tired? You're tired in one community and you're done with it, right? Over it. But then when you see another community, you step in to basically play the role of the men in that community. How what type of shape shifting are we dealing with here? I'm just a little bit confused. I'm a little bit baffled, because that's a lot of anger and aggression towards another group of men of which you more than likely don't even know. You're not even really around. None of those men even raised you. So I'm like, why are you so vocal like this? Why are you so aggressive? Why are you being so masculine? Right? But anyways, let's go back, right? So what is this? Renee Persis said, we know that black men are cowards. Again, we're talking about the exact same video where it had nothing to do with black men. And somebody had a comment for that woman. She said, and when Brad offs one of you, is he still a man? Because the main thing is that all the times as I've done videos, I've always been either called a coward, whatnot, or whatever, all anything but a child of God, right? But magically, when the story has to deal with a white man or somebody else doing something to a black woman, it's silence. I'm like, so where's all that vocalization? Where's all that talking? Where's all that rah rah rah? Where's all bringing up the stats and this that and it's nothing. But magically, when it is about a black man, or when somebody can theorize and sense, oh, there was a black man somewhere around, oh, magically people got talking points. They got things that they want to sit up there and say, get directly off their chest. Crazy work. Next, she said, underneath in response to joke, she said, we are much more likely to be offed by one of you Tyrones. Wow. Wow. That's diabolical. I mean, you're talking about crime within proximity. Okay, no problem. I got you. No problem. We're going to keep that one. I'm going to reread that one before I get into the stories, right? Underneath that, she had another response to somebody else. She said that why would I need a black man to bail me out of jail? Do y'all go through life planning to spend time in jail? Laughing emojis. Pathetic. Also, I have several life insurance policies, so I wouldn't need one of you for that either. Please know no one goes to black men when they need money because y'all ain't got it more often than not. Another comment that she had in response to somebody there, she said, I didn't say anything wrong either, though. Also, I'm not triggered. Did you not see the black man crying and yelling while getting tossed up by a white female cop? Laughing emoji. Or the black man saying, yes, sir, to the white boys telling him to get back in his truck? What about the UPS driver who cried in his truck because the whites in the neighborhood told him he didn't belong there? So where is the lie? Again, trying to paint the picture that no matter where black men are, they're just cowards. They're just, they're pretty much non-existent. They don't do anything. They just take up space, right? She had another response. She said, that only further proves how big of cowards y'all are. You will put belt to a black woman's butt, but cry and say, yes, sir, when confronted by whites. I rest my case. So again, I want people to understand when I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for any other black men directly out here. I want people to understand, just clear cut as a black American male, when I happen to do videos and I look through a lot of videos and I look through a lot of articles, I remember every single comment that I had a woman sit up there and leave, the negative ones I'm talking about, and how it is that they pull up to the scene to try to brand. Like I said before, I've been called everything, whatever story, whatever negative story that you can recall that I have covered dealing with a black man in the black community. I've been called everything surrounding that in my own comment section. And I'm like, huh. And I'm like, and you expect for me, if I ever go, to and from around the United States, that if something randomly happens, that I'm supposed to step out and just be like, all right, let me just forget all that stuff that people say, even though I know that they actually mean it with every fiber of their being. Let me just forget that. Let me just sit up there and risk my life. Huh? What? People been called me like this, the heavy R, and I'm talking about, dealing with criminal activities, the non-consensual. I'm like, brother, I'm sitting up there covering stories, and you saying that I'm the same as this person? Woo! I've covered some of the serious stories and had women pull up to the scene and call me every single name but a child of God. But yet I'm supposed to spread love and peace directly out here. Next, we got a brand new champion that said that black men are far removed from God's design, weak, cowardly, punks, resting in femininity. Of course, you have a problem with this. And I want y'all to know she's responding to me. This is her comment responding to me, right? So let me go over what she said before. She said, black men are far removed from God's design. So again, I'm not godly. I'm not made in God's image. I'm not even a child of God. I'm everything else, which means I'm the spawn of Satan. But if I'm the spawn of Satan, who gave birth to me? That would be a black woman, correct? And my mother is nowhere close to any of those things at all. She actually did a fairly great job. But like I said, this is what it looks like when people don't really think that far ahead with their comments and how they're, in a sense, talking negatively about black women as well, too, who give birth to black men, young black boys. But let's continue. He said that, again, I'm not godly. I'm weak. I'm cowardly. I'm a punk resting in femininity. Even though I've done stories talking about protecting black women, loving black women, respecting, valuing black women, getting to know self-love and all of those, I'm resting in femininity. Got you, no problem. So said, of course, you have a problem with this. You don't defend women and children at any cost. And the world knows it. Somebody has to stand for something and stand up for kids. Thank God for black women. Y'all just mad because all of you stand for is other men. Just no earthly good. I want to technically say in there she tried to slide the whole main comment that I told y'all before, that normally when women tend to disagree, and this only happens with black men. Normally when women tend to disagree, the main go-to is to try to say that somebody is gay. So that's what it's looking like to me, that she tried to squeeze directly in there without, in a sense, saying it. And it's crazy to me that to say that black men don't stand up for kids when I've showcased videos of black men, black fathers protecting their kids, protecting their homes, speaking up for their kids, representing their kids. But yeah, this is the narrative that people want to sit up there and keep spinning. I just make it to a point that like black men just don't exist. How about that one? So then people actually got something to complain about. Then you can actually sit up there and say you're really lacking. There is no protection directly. Like, it's crazy to know that a lot of these women out here that speak so crazily about black men have sons and raising sons. It's crazy to note that they actually do got fathers in their lives that they acknowledge. They got grandfathers, they got uncles, they got brothers. It's crazy to note that you got black women out here with all of these males in their families, of which they do respect and they do love. But in their mind, they're like, "Oh no, they're around me, so I know them. So they're off in a bubble on the other side of the universe. But the rest of this 99.9%, oh yeah, all of these black men, rah 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 rah." I'm like, that's wild to me. That's diabolical. So next, going back to this Renee or Stevenson person, she had another response. She said, anytime a white person bucks up at you, meaning black men, all y'all do is beg them to stop while calling them ma'am or sir. It was just a few weeks ago that we saw some white boys telling a black male to get back in his truck. Wait, didn't I read that one? Oh no, wait, let me see. Yeah, no, yeah. Getting back into his truck, and all he kept saying was yes, sir, yes, sir. Then don't forget, about a couple of weeks ago, we saw a white female police officer hemming up a black man, and he was crying, screaming, why are you doing this to me? If you want more examples, let me know, because I can go on and on and on. And then last but not least, by the same person, she said, if that is the case, then how have y'all been conquered the world over? I would like to sit up there and say, just for me being a content creator, me being a black American male content creator, I would like to sit up there and say, it gets very tiring to a point. Before, I used to get to a point where I used to get mad about these comments, and then I used to get angry, and then I used to get a little bit sad about these comments, and then it got to a point where I just stopped caring. And this is when mentally I started changing the things that I do naturally in everyday life, because I'm like, you know what? Cool, no problem. right? You say that I'm the problem. I'm going to make sure that if you say I'm the problem, I'm going to let it be that. So I'm not going to sit up there and, in a sense, no chivalry. I'm not opening no doors. I'm not picking up nothing that you sit up there, and drop. Like all of the normal things that I was raised to sit up there and do, I'm pulling all of that back. So at least if you're going to say that I'm problematic, or if you're going to say that I don't do something, at least now there's some validity to it, because now I'm not doing it. If you're going to say that I'm disrespectful, I'm going to give you a reason to, because I'm just going to ignore you. So now if I see you out there in public and something happens or what, I'm just, Sandra Bullock, girl, boy, girl, I'm wearing the blindfold. I don't see nothing, right? Because I'm the one causing the issue. I'm the one that's the problem. It doesn't matter if I intervene or don't intervene, or if I just stop and stare, shout out to my Republic, I'm still the problem, and I'm still at fault, and I'm still the main causation, and I'm still the main contributing factor. I'm still the main statistic. I'm still the main reason why Black women are losing their lives out here every single day. So it's crazy work, diabolical work. So hold on, I had somebody, I love comments every now and again. So this person said, grown man doesn't let YouTube comments break him down mentally. Wow, good job, brother. The funniest thing is there's more to that. I'm just highlighting it in that way because of the topic subject. So let me just sit up there and go into a better perspective, right? Let's go into a perspective of a Black American male. And again, this is just a one and done type of situation that took place, right? So we know that, right? And this is my situation. And some of y'all done already heard me repeat this situation time and time again, right? So I'm going to use Rowan McDowell for this example, right? Because you said that I shouldn't allow those comments to basically do whatnot or whatever. So let me give you a real life example of something that I went through. Being a Black American male, thought I was doing the best thing possible, right? Shout out to, in a sense, my son, biologically. Again, he's not my son, right? He was, from another father, but ended up with his mother at a point in time, understood that she had a very young child at the time of us sitting up there talking. And I was completely fine with the whole thing, right? Everything was going good. And, watching them, sit up there and grow up, and we was together and rah, 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 all this other type of stuff. Later on down the road, it came down to a point where somebody was pregnant. And speed up a little bit, fast forward, do a DNA test and find out that that same person that I'm referring to ended up sleeping with somebody else, but trying to pin that child directly on me. And like I said, it's no fault of the child. I do not fault the child to have any animosity or anything like that towards the child. But I'm just sitting up there saying, I'm trying to give you a little bit of insight of where what I'm speaking on comes directly from. Like I said, it's not just internet stuff, it's from other life experiences as well. And for the most part of having, like I said before, the police, right? Having a Detroit police, big officer, probably dude was probably like 6'3", had on a full utility belt, coming directly to my house at a young age, trying to serve me papers, talking about like, yo, if you don't come to do X, Y, and Z, within a week, we're going to serve a bench warrant, and we're going to, be out here for your arrest. And just hand me those papers and walked off. Police ain't never ever called me by my name, because they don't even know me. I don't be running through the streets. I don't sell drugs. I'm not into like anything. So for me, it's like that was crazy to me. I'm like, I never did anything in my life for the police to actually know me. But now, because I had an interaction and I thought I was doing the proper and the good thing, and it just didn't fare out well because somebody decided to sit up there and lie. Now the police basically know me and I'm getting papers. Yeah, nah, you can miss me with that. You can clear cut sit up there and miss me directly with that. And like I said, that was a one and done, situation where that happened. Am I saying that, that's every single Black woman directly out here? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that that happens way too often. And we don't even have to just look directly at the United States. You can look at Jamaica. You can look, and I gave people the percentages of men that are raising kids right now, and they're not even the father. I even gave you statistics when it deals with Nigeria. and how women there are sitting up there lying, and men are there raising kids that are not even theirs. I can sit up there and keep going on, but I'm just going to leave it in those three places. That's enough to sit up there and damage a young person mentally. That's enough to sit up there and make somebody fearful. That's enough to make somebody not really trust a lot of women directly out here because of that one thing. Do you understand how my life could have been drastically changed? How I could have been back and forth in and out of jail because of dealing with some child support over a child that's not even mine? Do you understand that? I guess you don't. I guess you don't actually care. But anyways, let's continue, right? Let's continue. Let's continue. So now we're going to go directly into the very first story. Color me surprised. Color me directly surprised on this. What do we have here? Right. Let me just make sure this is the story matching up. I see the hairline. Yep. So it said, mother confesses to killing 4-year-old daughter, starting fire to hide the body. A mother confessed to starting and I want to note, just like I did in a previous live stream, a lot of these videos are from a variety of times, but it still serves a purpose and it's still proving the point on how it is that this is problematic and that people don't really want to talk about it. They just want to fixate and focus on black men because black men are the scariest men directly out here on the face of the planet. No other men comes close, right? So now that we got that squared away, let's continue. Said a mother confessed to starting a fire last week to conceal the death of her 4-year-old. East Point Fire Department officials stated. Nicole Ashley Jackson, age 27, confessed to setting her apartment on fire at Brookfield Apartments at 3072 Washington Road to hide the body of her 4-year-old daughter. At the time of the fire, crews stated that they noticed heavy smoke coming from the building and immediately started working to put the fire out. After the fire was out, firefighters began their search and rescue efforts, and the body of a 4-year-old girl was found. The victim's twin sister, who was at home during the fire, was severely burned. She is now in her grandmother's custody. Officials have not stated how the 4-year-old died and how long she has been deceased. Quote, our suspicions was heightened that foul play was involved due to the acceleration of the fire. We know that the suspect used some type of unknown accelerant, which explains why the fire spread so quickly, causing massive damage. And this forces me to hold on. This forces me to think that, or I'm sorry, to use all resources at my disposal to quickly gather and secure evidence and locate a possible suspect. Consequently, I assigned more investigators than normal to this case because we knew arson was involved and the murder of a child possibly committed. 7 families have been displaced due to the fire, and the Red Cross has been called to assist the families. Jackson is in custody and is charged with felony murder, criminal attempt to commit murder, and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the first degree. Fire officials also stated that the autopsy of the victim is underway and the cause of death will soon be released. So, yeah. That's what we are. So I want to give a shout out to my bad. Brandon V World for the $5 dono said, yo, what's good, chat at Seji? Here comes a new challenger. Oh, this man got a Battlefield 6 download. Okay, I got you, brother. I got you. I see you all here. Brandon V World with the $2 dono said she's clearly projecting, talking about the comments from the video. And Brandon V World with another $5 dono said, that's a lot of sociology coming from one heartbreak. Ma'am, projections a hell of a research method. Just wish it comes with sources. So again, like I said before, this is a black woman, and I want to note that a lot of people always sit up to tell me, and I get this on in my comment section a lot. People tell me that black women are the most loving, are the most caring, nurturing individuals directly up here. But I didn't see nothing caring and nurturing about this story about this black woman. I'm not trying to hear any excuses talking about postpartum distress. I'm chemical imbalances, psychological. I'm not trying to hear none of that, man. because I get tired of hearing these excuses every single time that it comes across a woman doing something like this to a child. I've noticed that for whatever reason, whenever a woman does anything to a child, there's always excuses. Somehow, some man is going to get blamed from yesteryears. Somehow, somebody's going to blame like a boyfriend or a boyfriend from 20 years ago. Somehow, people are going to be like, well, she had 3 kids, postpartum distress, chemical imbalance. She needed medication. Yeah, all this other. I'm like, there's always an excuse. So it's like, so you mean to tell me that you don't just have women out here that just want to take lives? You got men out here that want to take lives, right? All men out here want to take lives, right? So a lot of women like to say, but when it deals with women, it's like, nah, it has to be very specific. It either has to be defense or it has to be a chemical imbalance. It has to be really something wrong with the woman in order for her to take a life. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I need people to stop excusing that, because this is why stuff like this is still able to consistently happen day in and day out. But I understand that a lot of people aren't going to believe me. So this is why I like to do live streams in a sense to this effect. So now we're going to go directly to the next story, which is this one. Harrisburg woman charged with killing her boyfriend in 2021 acquitted. Over 2 years later, Latosha Stoney has been acquitted of third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Right? Now I got to click the read more. They said just before midnight on July 7th, police responded to a report of a man that had been shot in the face and was unresponsive. Officers were dispatched to an apartment complex in the 2100 block of North 5th Street. The 911 caller, Latosha Stoney, was the girlfriend of the victim, of Stanley Cooksey. Stoney told emergency dispatchers that she and Cooksey had gotten into an argument and there was a struggle over a gun. During the struggle, the gun was shot and both were injured, according to the criminal complaint. Officers found Cooksey on the hallway floor of the apartment and Stoney just sitting near him. Stoney had a gunshot wound in her forearm. EMS pronounced Cooksey dead at the scene. Stoney was treated by EMS on the scene and taken to Holy Spirit Hospital to treat her gunshot wound. Officer questioned Stoney at the hospital. And according to police, Stoney stated that she and Cooksey had been dating since 1995. And Cooksey recently told her that he had just had a child with another woman. Police say that Stoney was upset after finding out and had been texting Cooksey hours before the shooting. He did not return her messages. Officials state that Stoney decided to stop by Cooksey's apartment and asked why. When Stoney arrived, she discovered Cooksey had been communicating with a woman he recently had a child with. An argument and an altercation followed after Stoney claimed she saw the message on Cooksey's phone. According to the criminal complaint, Stoney picked up a gun on the floor and a shot went off. The bullet went through her forearm and hit Cooksey in the face. Huh. So magically, Miss Stoney. So this all basically known each other since 1995. So this man is dead because you found out that he was talking to another woman. And he had kids with another woman. So instead of leaving, you decided to pick up a gun that you saw, supposedly. Magically, just guns are just laying on the floor in people's apartments, right? Not holstered, not in the safety box, nowhere, right? And fully loaded ammunition, right? She sees this, goes towards that weapon for no reason, as if she's cleaning a house like she's a maid, and then magically shots rang off. Nah, buddy. Nah, you got mad because the dude had a kid with another woman, and you decided that if you can't have him, nobody can, including that child. So you took him out of the equation. And now you are, well, I'm not actually sure because I think they said that, yeah, they acquitted her of third-degree murder. Isn't that something? I was going to say that technically she's in prison right now. You just ended your life, but oh, nope, it didn't happen. I'm guessing that they tried to say that it was self-defense. I guess she found a random gun on the floor and decided to, tussle directly over it in self-defense because the scary black man was going to get it and take her out. So she decided to do it first. Huh. Well, I guess justice isn't just, right? this could have been, a story where it'd been like, all right, well, she took the dude's life and now she has to suffer the consequences. Nope. She's not going to suffer any consequences. And she's going to be out there to deal with somebody else having the exact same attitude, and that man is going to suffer the exact same fate. Well, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Color me surprised. Well. Now we got shout out to all the Klingons directly out there. If anybody gets that reference, you are a true fan. You are a person of culture. Right. So they said a woman is arrested for allegedly I had to block out that word. A woman is arrested for allegedly directing a child to engage in acts. On Tuesday, authorities received a report of a child less than 12 being involved in activity with an adult. Reports show that it was determined that Rania Cooper, age 31, of Dothan, had directed a child to participate in said activities. Cooper was charged with one count of directing a child to engage in acts and is currently being held in Houston County Jail with no bond. So where when I go through these stories, I try to remember the comments that people sit up there and tell me about the caring, about the nurturing, about the loving, about the protection when it deals with the children and the family. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's really having a negative effect on families. Like you got a dude out here that was going to be a potential father, but a black woman took him out. So that's one less father that's out there in the black community. I guess people don't want to talk about that. Guess people don't want to. I guess somehow, some way, somebody like, well, you shouldn't be out there doing that as a man. I'm not saying it's right, but you shouldn't be. So you mean to tell me that you don't got the option to leave and not deal with that person? You don't got the option to just save yourself instead of potentially like, oh, I'm just going to think about taking somebody. Huh? What? Huh? Like I said, you got a lot of weirdos directly out here. It's crazy. It is diabolical directly out here, but it'd be like that. It'd be like that. But anyways, we're going to go directly to the next story directly up here. Michigan mother charged with taking the life of toddler son whose body was found in the freezer. A mother in Detroit has been charged with murder after the body of a 3-year-old son was found in the freezer Friday. The child's mother, Zora D. France, age 31, was also charged by Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy with first-degree CA, torture, and concealing a death, which are all felonies. Francie was arraigned Sunday and pled not guilty. Wow, that's crazy. So you did it and you pled not guilty. I guess a black man had to be a part of this one for her to plead not guilty, right? The child's body was discovered early Friday after police officers responded to the home to conduct a wellness check. Detroit Police Chief James White stated at a news conference Friday that officers found the child's body decomposing in a freezer. Investigators state that they are unsure at what point, how long the child's body was in the freezer, or when or how he may have died. The medical examiners ruled the young boy's death as a homicide. Quote, the alleged facts in this case have astounded even the seriously jaded. 5 other children who live in the house were checked at a hospital and were being placed into custody of Child Protective Services. Francie remains in custody and her next hearing is scheduled for July 8th. So let me go back up to that number real quick. So she has 6 kids. She has 6 kids and she extinguished one. So this mother had 6 kids and decided to take out her son. Okay. And I'm pretty sure somehow, some way, whenever this story transpired that took place, somebody out there was up there like, you know what? Something doesn't sit right. It's not just her that was at fault for this. Let's start blaming all the black men. Let's blame the people that's invisible that we know nothing about. Let's bring them into the scope, bring them into the picture, put 1000% accountability on them, and lessen the accountability, minimize the accountability on the woman that you see here. And let's make up excuses saying that it was a mental illness, postpartum distress. She was dealing with a lot being a mother. Let's say that she needed medication. Let's say that a black man put her up to this. Crazy work, but like I said, whenever I happen to cover stories like this, I get nothing. There is all of the rah 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 that I normally hear when stories deal with black men or young black men. I get all the energy in the world where people want to sit up there and say something. They want to, you know, start. Like I said, all I'm saying is it's crazy to me that when it's stories like this, it's dead silent. When it's stories like this, where you got women like this that are stated with all the evidence that is presented that they are the ones that did it, it's funny how it's magically that these stories are not that serious. People want to look over these stories. It's like, yeah, these stories are bad, but let's look at these other 50 black men and what it is that they did to black women directly. Let's focus in on those stories. But people say that they care, though. But people say that they care. So let's go to the next one. They said a woman found guilty of murdering, dismembering mother before burning body on a barbecue grill to get rid of the evidence. A woman was found guilty, and this is I think that the person to the side is the daughter. I don't know. A woman was found guilty Friday of murdering her 71-year-old mother and working with her daughter to dismember the body with a chainsaw. Candace Craig was found guilty of first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and tampering with evidence and disposing of a body in an unauthorized place, according to the state attorney office. Craig killed her mother after an argument over, fraudulent credit card charges. She then dismembered her mother's body and burned it on a barbecue grill to get rid of the evidence. Quote, "We consider Margaret Craig to be a special victim who was killed by her own daughter. Killed, dismembered, her body burned, her body grilled. It was insulting for a 71-year-old woman who was a hardworking woman collecting Social Security, collecting a pension. She was someone who worked hard all of her life. She was providing for her grown daughter who was living with her, her grandchildren, and she even allowed her daughter's boyfriend to live in the home. The gruesome murder happened in Prince George County last year. Officers arrived at the home along Hills Road in Hyattsville in July 2nd of 2023 after neighbors reported not seeing the 71-year-old Margaret Craig for several days. So let me get this straight. Because again, like I told y'all before, I get the stories, but I just read them fully out when I do the live stream. So let me get this straight. So this black woman here and her daughter decided that they want to concoct a plan after, some whatever credit card scheme that they were probably doing on their mom, decided that they wanted to just get rid of her because I'm guessing that they were thinking that, okay, if we do this, then I'm going to be the primary beneficiary and everything that she got, her pension, Social Security, is going to come directly to me. Really? That's the bright hair schemed idea that you got, knowing the fact that your mom has a house and your bum ass doesn't. Your daughter doesn't even have a place to live. Y'all both are bums. And then your mother was nice enough to allow you as a grown ass black woman to move in your bum ass boyfriend into her home along with your bum ass kids. And then you decided that you wanted to sit up there and take her life. Wow. And you got your daughter and brother. And this is why I sit up there and I do these stories and I talk about this stuff. Like I said, I try to be as even as possible when I do stories. So yesterday's live stream, it was about the YNs and all of the behavior going off on that, and even has some stories of some bums in there, right? Some female bums directly in there. And now, because of the comments, because people don't know just how to shut up, now I'm back here with another live stream, and this is what I got to sit up there and do because a lot of people like playing with fire. So no problem. I'm going to hit you with lava. It's going to be a nice slow burn, and you're not going to be able to get rid of it. No doctor is going to be able to fix you. That's just the way it's going to sit up there and be. And for anybody that's going to sit up there and say that, well, I'm just going to be going to hell, we're going to hell together. I am not going by myself. This is a multi-ticketed trip. What you think we are? You think I'm just going down in a plane by myself? Nah. We don't do that. Nah, son. We got a multitude of seats. We even got first class and even first class. You can be at the head and nose of the plane. We out here. Let me tell you something. Like I said, I keep trying to tell people, stop playing these games because you're gonna win stupid prizes. All you have to do is not say nothing stupid directly on this platform, and we all good. We can all move along with our day. But the moment in time that you want to showcase your stupidity and you want to start basically talking about me as a black man, or you want to start talking about and categorizing and branding other black men as something negative, this is when we got to start doing this. And like I said, I know that a lot of those people that tend to pull up to the scene in those comment sections of those videos are not going to come to these live streams. They're not that stupid. They're stupid, but they're not that stupid. So they're just an example for the rest of the stupids directly out there to don't play stupid games. Just saying. I'm even on everybody. The exact same energy that you see me, that you're going to see me with these videos dealing with black women, the exact same energy that I got with YNs, that I have with black men, the exact same energy that I got with black elders, same energy I got with the black community, same energy I got with white folks, same energy I got with the Asians, Hispanics, Africans. Like I said, I don't care who you are. Any and everybody can sit up there and get it. If you say that I hate somebody, I hate everybody equally. Shout out to Charleston White. Like I said, I don't know how else to sit up there and put it to people. All I'm sitting up there calmly telling people is to stop playing stupid games and stop poking bears. If you know that you got like some dangerous, like I said, people want to say that black men are dangerous. If you say that I'm a dangerous animal, don't provoke the dangerous animal, because now we're going to start having live streams and countless videos like this. And I can sit up there and go on a tangent. I can go on a rant. I got enough stories because, like I said, all I had to do was change a prompt. And I got about like a good 100 stories in front of me right now. So I got content. And I could care less if it gets 5 views. It's the fact I got content. I can just put it out there. Somebody will see it. But like I said, this is where we are. 2 black women deciding to take out another black woman. And not a black man, not nearly any black man had anything to do about it. But do you think that anybody who normally wants to sit up there and talk negatively about black men, do you think that anybody's going to say or try to remember the name of the elder mother that had her life taken by her daughter and her granddaughter? Nope. I've never seen not nearly a person out here on these streets sit up there and talk about Miss Craig Sr. and trying to uphold her name, trying to uplift her name, trying to make sure that nobody ever forgets. But if it was a black man that has something to do with it, it would be t-shirts. It would have been hashtags. It would have been on a nice part of Twitter up there for about a few days, maybe a week. It would have been in conversations throughout videos. Oh, but what about this black man who did this to the 71-year-old mother? Why don't you guys talk about this? So in the exact same voice, why don't y'all sit up there and talk about what these black women out here doing to other women? Since people want to talk about a femicide rate, I don't see any caring or nurturing directly in this story at all. I see a lot of bums. The only black woman that realistically was there was the 71-year-old. Everybody else was bums. The mother, bum. Daughter, bum. Boyfriend, bum. And as a lot of people like to sit up there and say that the children have to pay for the father's sins, the children, bums. Because they were born from bums. But like I said, it's crazy. It's some diabolical work out here, though. And then the previous story that we just had after that, woman sat up there and had 6 kids, and she sat up there and iced her little son, put him in a freezer. For what? Are you trying to savor the moment from when you took his life? Like, next, We got this one. Mother accused of killing her 10-year-old daughter after an argument. I'm noticing a trend here where it's like with women killing other women. But I always happen to hear that it's primarily and only men killing women and young girls out here in the black community. What the hell is this then? And we're not talking about this woman. She has lived a long time. That forehead is both part Star Trek and part civil rights. She has been here for a very long time. So she is old enough to know better. But obviously, she opted to do differently. Right? It says a Wisconsin woman has been charged with first-degree reckless homicide after her young daughter was found dead in Milwaukee home. Henrietta Rogers was charged with first-degree reckless homicide in the death of her 10-year-old daughter, Jada Clay. According to the criminal complaint, Clay's sister told police that Clay and her mother began fighting because the 10-year-old, hold on. All right, so let me read that again. It said, according to the criminal complaints, Clay's sister told police, Clay and her mother began fighting because the 10-year-old wouldn't let her mother put braids in her hair. The fight allegedly continued the next morning, and it was reported that Clay's sister said that she could hear her mother pleading with the child to allow her hair to be braided. The older sister told police, quote, heard a loud bang from the inside of the bathroom and rushed to see what was happening. When the sister got to the bathroom, she told police that she saw her mother on the bathroom floor with her back towards the wall, holding a mirror that had fallen off the bedroom wall. She told police that she saw her little sister on the floor lying towards her mother's legs and feet, but that she didn't see any injuries on her sister at the time. Prosecutors state that Clay's sister then helped Clay into her bedroom and told her to get ready for school while Rogers left the home, saying she was going to get gas. When Rogers did not come home in time to take the kids to school, Clay's sister decided to walk, but told police that Clay refused to walk with her. After school ended, Clay's sister called Rogers to pick her up, but did not get a response. So she called Clay's brother. Then the two ran errands and came home to find Clay's body. The two told police the girl was face down on the floor of her room and her body was cold to the touch. They told police that the entrance of their duplex was locked and that the door to their unit was ajar, but there were no signs of a forced entry. Only Rogers and Clay's sisters have keys. Police found Rogers at a nearby park where she was visibly upset. Officers told Rogers her daughter had been found injured, but Rogers refused to give permission for them to search her home. Then the paper also stated by reports that Rogers was found with notes stating, I love you, Jada, and I've never done nothing to go to jail. The medical examiner stated by a preliminary, I guess, autopsy that the cause of death of Clay was asphyxia. So over braids, you took the life of your daughter. Because your daughter would not allow you braid her hair, you took her life. You had a fight with her initially, then you decided to finish the job. And then you're going to sit up there and talk about reading a note saying some that you love her and that I've never done nothing to go to jail. Do you know how delusional you have to be in a place where you can commit a murder against your own child and still write to them saying that I love you, I would never do nothing to harm you, and I didn't do anything to go to huh? What? What universe am I even in at this moment? Like that's the most craziest thing. That's the most Somebody said, was the mother taking drugs? I don't care what she was doing. She don't got no excuse. I'm not trying to hear nothing. This is like I said, this is what we're not going to do. And I get that you may be just asking an honest question. I'm just using you for an example, so don't feel offended. I'm just saying, other than this person here, for anybody else that want to ask a question like this, just don't. Because when there's a black man that commits a murder and he kills like his own kids, he commits an act against a black woman, I don't hear nearly none of the people out here talking about, oh, was he on drugs? Was he off his meds? Maybe he was crazy. Maybe he was hysterical. Maybe he really needed some help. Maybe he needed some therapy. Nobody's saying none of that. Nobody's saying none of that. So like I said, ain't no grace being given here. If I'm looking at the black man who committed these acts as murderers and killers, and the worst of the worst, I'm looking at these black women directly in the black community committing these acts against other women, against their own kids, against their own mothers, as the exact same as those black men. We ain't doing this. We ain't doing that. No, we will not. Or at least I won't. I'm not giving no type of justification. I'm not giving no type of excuses. A killer is a killer. This is exactly what we're talking about here. Like I said, the same way that people want to view black men, I'm showing you what that looks like. This is the exact same way I view black women. Like I said, I'm an equal opportunist. If you got a problem with that, you are the biggest problem of them all. I just want you to know that, because I'm spreading this equally and I'm treating this equally. If you got a problem with equality, you got a problem within yourself. Let me tell you something. If this even makes you feel a certain type of way because I'm talking about it like this, you are a very large problem. And the reason why a lot of these things are able to happen in the black community. Just saying, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to call a spade, just saying. But yeah, like I said, to Yard of Sunshine, like I said, I got you. I had to use you for an example. I had to use it for an example. Right? So now we're going to go directly to the next story. Right? Which is this one here. Florida aunt and guardian charged with murdering a 13-year-old girl. A grand jury returned a bill of indictment against two Florida women suspected of killing a 13-year-old girl. Marina Williams, age 57, and her sister, 52-year-old. Whew, wait a minute. So both of these women are in their 50s? Woo, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Marina Williams, age 57, and her sister, 52-year-old Valerie Young, are suspected of killing Delia Marie Young after they reported the teenager, of whom Williams is a stepmother and a guardian to, missing in mid-May when they were taken into custody. They have been charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of neglect of a child with great bodily harm, tampering with physical evidence, resisting arrest without violence, and making false reports to law enforcement authorities regarding a capital felony. Williams told police that she saw the girl's aunt beating Young in Gainesville with an electrical cord on the night of May 16th. According to local reports, Williams told authorities that she asked the teen if she needed to go to the hospital. She declined. The woman says she found the girl deceased in her bedroom the next morning. According to Williams, she then called her sister, who came to the house where the two women put the 13-year-old bodies in a tote bag and drove her to a house in La Crosse on May 18th. Williams stated that she returned to the home the next day and found the bag empty and Delilah's body gone. The teenager's remains are found weeks later on June 14th in a field by deputies. An employee of the county school district where Delilah was enrolled stated that she reported multiple cases of abuse of the girl to the Florida Department of Child and Family Services. Quote, I thought that's why I did what I did, was to be able to save kids like her from this happening. She later said that the system failed that girl. Over the course of 4 years, the woman maintained at least 8 allegations of child abuse were filed on Delilah's behalf. None of them ever resulted in her being removed from that home. Quote, there are many times where she would be limping and complaining of pains in her hip. There was a time that her hand was extremely swollen and she couldn't use it to write, possibly broken. There were times when her whole back was bruised and scratched up. Huh. Not a black man in sight on that one, huh? Two women decided to do this. For what reason? There's not a reason, but I'm just usually as investigators and other people want to know, like, what was the specific reason for you doing this? And nobody's going to sit up there and tell me, oh yeah, they're just both drugged out. They're just both crazy. That's not how that works. And like I said, it ain't no excuses here. These are killers and murderers. You had a plan to do something. You've been sitting up there doing this. And the same thing I'm going to levy that other people have stated when people want to talk about black men and black community protecting and like, where are you guys at? Da, da. Where are the black women of this family, of this community, to come out and protect these young girls from women like this? Where are they at? Because whenever I happen to hear or do any of these stories, I never hear or see any of this rah 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 type of deal. I never hear all of this angst and all of this angel. And also, I want to also point this out to a lot of the black dudes out there that always want to put on a superhero suit and they want to act like they really about to do something. For any of the black dudes that like to put on superhero outfits and capes and shit, where are y'all at whenever I cover these stories? Because whenever I cover black men doing stuff, you up there with black women, rah rah rah. It's like, yeah, man, if that was, man, I got this, I got that, all this other, man, let me sit up there and see that person, right? But when I showcase stories like this, when it's black women, I don't see no superhero suit. I don't see no capes flying. I don't see nobody talking about for truth, justice in the American way and trying to save the black community. I don't see none of that. And why is that? Like, it's crazy how both sections of the demographics of the black community are all gusto when it deals with like black men doing something. Cool, fine, no problem. I get that. Cool. But I could have sworn that we're trying to circumvent, trying to correct, and trying to fix problems. So why is it that both halves are focused on one side and then not focused on the other side and allowing shit like this to sit up there and happen? Huh? Let me hear the excuses. How does that? The math is not mathing. The math ain't mathing. And this is what I be talking about. Like, people talk about, everybody's equal and all this other type of stuff and rah, rah, rah. But black men and black women both focus on one end of the spectrum. But when stories like this get brought up, magically both sides don't have nothing to say. They're silent. Huh? But I thought we're supposed to care about the community. We're supposed to care and protect the kids. We're supposed to have the same energy all around. Obviously not. Obviously it's lopsided. So like I said, y'all ain't really about protecting nothing. It's just pretty much a show. It's pretty much people just posturing online. It's people just sitting up there talking. Rah, rah. If it was a black man, I got daughters, I got this, I got that, man. Let me sit up there and see that man directly out here. But when you got black women out here sitting up there doing this, it ain't none of that rah, rah, rah. Even when other black women sit up there and happen to see stories like this, it ain't all that rah, rah, rah. I'm like, that's wild to me. That's crazy. That is diabolical. Wait, what? Cindy Lee Marie. Who are you talking about? Go home. I'm a little bit confused. I don't even understand what that comment is even like referencing towards. For case in points, for anybody who normally comes directly to this platform during live streams, if you got a response to people, please put the ad, because if you don't, in my mind, I'm like, oh, you trying to say something towards me and trying to be slick. I'm like, so what we talking about? Like I said, I treat it as on site. I'm trying to get better. I'm really trying to get better. I'm just saying. Brother, who are you talking about? Fix your home. Oh, dog, who, my man, who are you talking? I'm not even gonna, I'm not even, who, let me see, who are you? My man, who are you talking to? And I know exactly what the name reads, and I know what the picture looks like, but you're coming directly here and you're speaking directly to me. My man, who are you talking about? Talking about go fix your homeland. Like, are you stupid? Are you slow? What? What are you talking about? Who are you even? You got to be AI, brother. You got to be AI. I know you're not sitting up there telling me to go home. Where you want me to go home to? you want me to sit up there and you know hit up the block real quick? Detroit? That's what you want me to do? Oh, Sham said doesn't matter. Send them to the Bermuda Triangle. All right, no problem. Hey, no problem. Yo, DSB, what is up? What is up? What is up? Said Shalom Seji, my warrior brother. Much love, respect, and appreciation. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? Like I said, that was some crazy. I'm like, go home. I'm like, who are you talking to? I'm like, yeah, I was about to go on a tangent. Sham got it though. Much love and appreciation to Sham. And so this is where the evenness comes in when I happen to do these stories where I like to talk about bums. When people like to say that you should be equally yoked, this is what they're talking about. These are two bums. See how you got the doofus to the left looking stupid, slow and dumb. He just looks like, hey, I'm just up for whatever. Whatever is wrong, I'm going to sit up there and do it. And then you got the dummy sitting there. She got her hair just laid directly to the side. She got the side bang. Right, hair is just looking nice, looking great for the picture. Got all smiles, but these are mugshots. So let's see what this clown is smiling about. Let me see if I can pronounce his name correctly. I'm going to say 5 weeks after Talasia Nelson and Rocky McGinney II were charged with killing their young son last year, the couple was released from the Portsmouth City Jail on bond. Who in the hell? I'm not even. I'll just wait. Both were 18 and facing charges of second-degree murder and child abuse for the February 2021 death of their 2.5-year-old son. Right? Among the conditions of Portsmouth Juvenile and Domestic Relations District Court judge set for the couple's release was that they have no contact with each other while awaiting trial. McGinney also was told to stay away from children under 5, including his own. Prosecutors found out last week, however, that not only have Nelson and McGinney been in regular contact with each other, but now they're expecting another child together. And that's according to the motion of Commonwealth Attorney Office that was filed last week, seeking to have Nelson's bond revoked. McGinney's bond had already been taken away in March when prosecutors learned he'd been spending time with another of his children in violation of the no contact order. A court document stated that he took the boy to Children's Hospital of the King's daughter, but didn't indicate why he brought the child there. Circuit Judge Brenda Spree revoked McGinney's bond March 15th, 2 weeks after the hospital visit, according to the order that was filed. He's being held in city jail. Circuit Judge Kenneth Melvin revoked Nelson's bond Monday after prosecutors told the courts that they learned from a witness that she was planning to flee Virginia and move to Las Vegas. Nelson didn't show up for Monday's court hearing, and Melvin issued an arrest warrant for her. She hadn't been arrested as of Wednesdays, and that was stated by Portsmouth Under Sheriff Marvin A. Waters Jr. and is listed as a fugitive in online court documents. A spokesperson for the Commonwealth Attorney's Office didn't respond to requests on more information. The couple's first arrest and charge was in a case back in February 17th of 2021, 8 days after paramedics were called to their Portsmouth home for reports of an unresponsive child. When first responders arrived, McGinney was performing CPR on the toddler while Nelson and McGinney's mother stood by. McGinney's court filings, what was it? According to the criminal complaint in McGinney's court file, the boy was taken to Bon Secours Maryview Medical Center, where he was pronounced deceased. An autopsy showed that his son had bruises and scrapes over most of his body, pooled blood in his abdominal cavity, a lacerated liver, intestinal damage, and a crushed testicle. Jesus. The boy's parents told police the night before that he died that the little boy had been throwing up profusely and would not eat and only drank a small amount of water. When police asked why they didn't take him to the doctor, Nelson and McGinney stated that they didn't think that it was that serious. The toddler was lying on a couch watching TV the next day when both parents left the room to take a call. When they came back, he was unresponsive. When told about the autopsy results, Nelson told police about the injuries that her son had sustained would have been from being an active child who likely played rough and fell often. McGinney told officers that he spanked his son with a belt when he misbehaved or defecated on himself during a toilet training. He also stated that he frequently roughhoused and wrestled with the boy and had performed an elbow drop move on him the night before he died. A pediatrician who specializes in child abuse cases told police that the injuries could not have occurred during play. Nelson's mother told police that she suspected that her grandson had been abused and showed them screenshots of Instagram messages shared between her and her daughter about their abuse suspicions. She also told police that Nelson and the son had been living with her in her unit for about a month before the boy died, but left after a falling out and moved in with McGinney. Nelson's mother told police the child's bruises didn't start showing up until he moved in with his father. According to the couple's arrest report of February 17, 2021, McGinney was granted a $25,000 bond on March 25th of 2021 with the conditions requiring that he stay away from Nelson and the children under the age of 5. Nelson received the same bond 2 days later with the conditions that she must have no contact with McGinney and live in Newport News. Court records show or indicate, court records didn't indicate who granted the bond at that time. Nelson was taken into custody again on March 2nd, court records show, though it is not clear why. Circuit Court Judge Brenda Spry granted a $5,000 bond over prosecutors' objections. According to the motion filed last week by prosecutors, Nelson had asked the Norfolk Child Protective Service workers to conduct a scheduled home visit with her and McGinney's home in Portsmouth rather than the one in Newport News where she was supposed to be living. During the visit, Nelson admitted to having consistent contact with McGinney and told the caseworker she planned to live with him indefinitely. On June 9th, prosecutors got a call from a woman who stated that Nelson told her that she planned to flee Virginia and move to Las Vegas once McGinney got out of jail, despite that McGinney is being held without bond. The woman also stated that Nelson told her that she was 21 weeks pregnant with McGinney's child, and prosecutors filed a motion to revoke bond the same day and notified Nelson's lawyer of the plans. Like I said, I don't know. This is what stupid looks like. This is what stupid looks like. Like I said, we already know looking at the image here to the left that he is just whatever. It's a lost cause. It's over. It's curtains. The one to the right, though, the woman who already had a child, and you're already with this guy, and things are already happening. You as a mother, you didn't think that, maybe I should step back, maybe I should step away, maybe I should just make this a single mother type of thing and just, live in a safer area. Maybe I should live with my mom or my grandmother. I should just, do that. Nope. Nope, 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 no, no, no. And after that, losing that first child, she was like, you know what? It'll be a great idea after everything that took place. Let me get pregnant by the same guy again so that the same thing can happen. And not only that, I'm not going to abide by any court orders. I'm still going to see him. I'm going to have consensual, unprotected relations directly with this guy who means me no good, no benefit at all, who's not going to add anything to my life. And I'm going to give him another child after he already, ended the first one. In this story, I don't see anywhere in the story where it said that she was coerced or forced to be with this guy. I don't see anything where somebody was stating that it was a gun pointed directly at her. I don't see anywhere in the story where it stated that she was under drugs when she decided to still be with. So again, when I cover these stories, all I'm simply saying is I need people miss me with the excuses. When I sit up there and say that women out here will make their own choices with the men that they want to be with, I mean just that. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm not trying to hear no excuses. I'm not. Like I said, there was tons of red flags here. She's a glaring red flag. She's like the largest red star known to man. But she still decided to do this. She still decided to add to the situation. Okay. All right. Wow. 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 And again, like I said before, I'm not seeing, the nurturing. I'm not seeing the protection. I'm not seeing the love of children directly out here. I'm seeing things allowed to be happen the same exact way that people say that black men allow these things to happen to black women and black kids in the community. I'm seeing black women allow the exact same things. Right? If people are going to leverage to the point and say that black men are just inherently evil, okay, cool, no problem, fine. I'll hold the L. Cool. I'm a black male. I'm evil. So in reverse, right? In a versus type of setting, right? Somebody is dark, somebody has to be light, right? So if black men are evil, then that would mean that the black women I'm covering would have to be the good guys. But I'm not seeing any good guys here. I'm not even spotting an anti-hero. So what I can basically see is that there's a lot of projection that is going on, at least from the stories that I'm covering. Because the pretty much the same stories that I've covered with black men, I'm covering those exact same stories, if not worse, because these stories are layered. Usually, if it's black dudes doing this, it's like it's a one and done type of thing. It was like, okay, well, the dude had a propensity, he had a record, he had this, he had that. It was a multitude of red flags directly up there. This ain't his first time sitting up there doing it. He got a criminal background or something like that. All right, cool, got it. But what about these women though? I don't hear no jail type of stints. I don't hear no type of lengthy long records. Police know them by name. They was out here willing and dealing. They was out here selling drugs and spraying up the. I don't hear none of that. So I'm baffled. I'm a little bit confused. I'm lost. I don't know where to go specifically with this, other than the fact that I'm just viewing the fact that people just want to project. It's crazy work. It's diabolical. It's crazy work. Andrew Tate said that black men are evil. I don't know where you got that one from. I'm looking at the name, and I know you're not black, and I know you're not a woman. So my common denominator means that you are non-black in this conversation. That's a little bit weird because if we're to deal with CP and who gets charged for that overwhelmingly, it'll be white males. If we deal with bestiality and the charges on that and the stats on that, overwhelmingly is going to be white males. I think you might want to step back from this one, buddy. I don't think this is the spot for you to start talking. I don't think this is the spot for you to start talking. I think you just want to push back. I think you just want to push back there, brother. You want to go find a cliff somewhere. You want to go play in some traffic. This ain't it. This ain't it. This is not what you want to sit up there and do. Because, like I said, I didn't cover stories of white boys on camping trips deciding that they want to entrap and drug a bear and have their way with it. Explain that to me. You got men out here having their way with roosters and hens, chihuahuas, goats, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. Like the animal kingdom is not safe, brother. I don't think that this is the route that you specifically want to speak. I don't think this is where you want to go right now. I don't think this is where you want to go. Just saying. Just saying. Diabolical work. What was that? He said being black doesn't mean you can't speak on the data. Da 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 da. You said show the percentages of whites that deal with animal abuse. I did that in a previous live stream where I put up the data for both CP. I put up the FBI stats, and then I also put up the data that I was able to find directly online. Now, if you yourself are so intrigued and interested about what it is that I'm talking about, you are more than likely on a cell phone because I have this content vertical, so I know that more than likely you're on a cell phone. Just type it directly into your cell phone. This live stream will be up for a minute. Type it directly into your phone and find out all the information that you want about white men. This is not this type of circus where I'm some type of trick pony and I'm going to just go get this information directly for you. I'm pretty sure you're also older than me as well too, so you know better. So you know how to actually do research the same way that I do research and get stories and news. You can do that exact same thing too. So go fetch. That's what we're doing out here. That's what we're doing out here. Sasha said, "Don't forget about their women because their women are on that type of time as well too." Oh yeah. Oh, trust me, I've covered those stories. I didn't cover the stories of white women sitting up there being arrested for doing videos and putting them online about them and their dogs. Trust me, I didn't cover those stories. I've covered a lot of stories, but what tends to happen is that people don't want to look at those stories. They want to bypass those stories, and then they want to decide to come up on stuff like this, and they want to start to speak and be high and mighty and all this other type of stuff. Or when I happen to do live streams for hours about statistics, going over those statistics and then going over stories, magically those same people that want me to start bringing up numbers and statistics, they're nowhere to be seen. They're nowhere to be found. Magically, it's like, I just found out about your platform. I was just running through YouTube. I've been up here for years. I've been doing live streams like this for quite some time. Both ways on 2 channels. So it's impossible for you not to see me, depending. But it'd be like that though. Wait, what happened? Wait, I'm so confused. I'm so confused on what Tippy is talking about. I'm so lost. Let me see. Okay, so next we're gonna go to the next story. Right, we're gonna go to the next story. So now we're going to the next one here, which is this woman. And you can see by the title, she said, "I'm fixing to kill her." Right? Lake County woman charged in the death of her boyfriend's 9-year-old daughter. So I want people to understand this. The boyfriend has a daughter from a previous relationship. So he is a present father. He's more than likely a black male. This woman, being the woman that she is, decided that she wanted to take the life of her boyfriend's daughter. There's a black man here, but the black man is not the cause. Because he ain't the one that did it. A Lake County woman was arrested Wednesday after an investigation into the death of a 9-year-old girl. 34-year-old Tayshelle Martin was arrested Wednesday on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated CA, and child neglect for the June 17th death of her boyfriend's daughter, identified as Jamaria Sessions. According to Lake County Sheriff's Office, their investigation began just before 5 a.m. on June 17th after deputies responded to a 911 call from a home on Harbor Oaks Drive in Mount Verde, responding to an unresponsive child who was already cold to the touch. Emergency medical responders arrived and pronounced Sessions dead at the scene. According to reports from the sheriff's office, they noted that the girl was naked with significant numbers of bruisings, puncture wounds, burns, and bite marks covering her body. Jesus Christ. During a brief interview with Lake County paramedics, investigations say that Martin claimed that she woke up that morning to catch a flight to California that Sessions and other kids in the house were supposed to take to meet the girl's father. who had left several days earlier and was waiting for them all to arrive there. A preliminary investigation by the medical examiners at the scene determined that the injuries to Sessions were signs of physical abuse. According to the sheriff's office, investigators later found video footage of the home security system that showed Martin commanding the family's 103-pound Rottweiler to attack Sessions 2 days earlier as Martin held the dog's leash. Oh, I'm just gonna have to take a gaming break after this live stream. I'm gonna just have to take a break after this. After this. You, oh my god, you get. Oh, okay. What's up? What's up? Breathe. All right. Deputies say that the video goes on to show that Martin repeatedly kicking, hitting, and shaking the mostless child while apparently saying, "I'm fixing to kill her." According to sheriff's office, investigators learned through other interviews, videos, and text messages that Sessions was regularly being punished with prolonged wall sits, being made to run in place with her arms raised, being struck with various objects, as well as being kicked, punched, and pinched. Investigators state that an autopsy report from the medical examiner's office completed on Tuesday determined that Sessions' cause of death to be a homicide due to complications from multiple blunt injuries to her head, body, and extremities, in addition to burns on her right foot. Tyshell Martin was then arrested and booked into Lake County Jail on murder and child and CA charges. She remains there on no bond. Lake County deputies are calling it the worst case of child abuse they've ever seen in decades. Lieutenant John Harrell stated that deputies visited the house 2 times since December 1st when the school's source officer wanted to know why the children weren't in school. He explained it away, and that was due to their biological mother that had recently passed away. However, Harrell stated that the second visit in March is now the center of the administrative review. So, a grown woman, 34 years old, decided, and you can see, you can look at the attitude, you can look at her face, you can tell the type of person that she is. You decided that you wanted to go after a 9-year-old, and you wanted to sick the family dog on the 9-year-old. So for anybody wondering why is it that I don't cover a lot of stories like this anymore, this is why. Because it's like the longer it's a little bit, it's bearable when the details are short, but when it's lengthy and it gives detail, it's like it's just going to get worse. And it's like as I kept reading, it got worse and worse. It went below hell. Like that's pretty much where it is at this moment in time. That's pretty much where it is. And for the life of me, I'm just trying to figure out, again, as I've stated before, like a broken record, whenever I've covered stories like this, I never receive the energy that I would get if the story was a black man. Nothing happens. I get there's barely any views, barely anything in the comment section or anything of that nature. And I'm like, so how much do people actually really care? Right? You posture, you sit up there and say that you care, rah, 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 all this other type of stuff when it's a black man, but when it's a black woman doing this, and we're talking about the exact same circumstances, if not worse, it's dead silence. And I'm like, why is that? So I'm like, we're gonna all be loud when it's a black man doing, oh yeah, black man bad, black man bad. Look at this black man, da 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 da, all this other type of stuff. Look at the crime rate, look at the murders, look at the statistics, right? But then you're going to allow this to skate by. You're going to allow this to grow and go through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 cancer, and then inevitably get to stage 4, is going to go to a mass so big that there's nothing that you can do about it, and no amount of radiation is going to be able to get rid of it or minimize it. That's what we're doing right now. I'm not sure if people are able to get what it is that I'm putting directly out, but that's pretty much what you're looking at. You're looking at a cancer that is growing, right? You pointed out one problem on one half of the body, right? You said, okay, black men out here doing these crimes in the community, ripping and running. Okay, cool, fine, no problem. We got the system, we got the problem, and we're working on something to cure that. We're working on something to fix that. It might be a little bit slow, but we are actively going after that situation and working on that and trying to curb that and bring that down. But on the other half of the body, people are just like, oh no, it's cool over here. It's just rays and sunshine. Everything is completely fine. All the organs, nah, the organs are busted. The organs are broken. Stuff over there is shattered. You just can't see it because people want to paint it up. People want to put nice clothes directly on it and act like ain't nothing moving, ain't nothing shaking over there. They ain't supposed to be shaking. Nah, like that's some crazy work directly out here, man. Like I said, it is diabolical in nature. It's crazy. Like I said, all I sit up there and try to tell people, I'm like, yo, if you're gonna, really have a type of rage or a type of anger or a type of energy towards one side of the spectrum of the stories when to deal with the black community, have that all over the place. Don't sit up there and let stuff like this slide by because it's a woman doing it. Like I said, and that goes further to how society basically views women. Out here in society, nobody looks at women as a threat. Nobody looks at women as dangerous, as if they can really get one over on somebody, like they can really be devious, really do something. And it's like, dog, you are really boo-boo the fool if you really think that that is the case. And that's how a lot of women can do far worse than men can, because with men, you're already on guard. That's the thing that people don't want to acknowledge and want to put directly out there to the forefront. When it deals with men, it doesn't matter who it is, men or women. People are on guard just initially. Right. And that's because of how we were indoctrinated, how we were given certain information, how we were shown certain things. But when it deals with women, everybody's guard is always down. Women have the utmost access to kids. And look at all of the stories that I showed you. Look at who is primarily harming those children who have the utmost access. Again, you had a mother that has 6 kids. She put one of her kids on ice, and it was her son. Put him on ice. But nobody wants to talk about those that have the most access to kids. I talk about this when it deals with the white community, though. I talk about those who got access to the school systems and thousands of kids directly out there. And I've gone over all of those teachers, all of those assistants. I went over the teachers' aides. I went over the principals, the janitors, all of that to showcase the danger within that part of society. And then I do these stories to highlight the exact same dangers. But like I said before, it's as if like people just don't care. It's like, whatever, it's a woman doing it. It's not as bad as a man doing it. There's no excuse when a man does it, but we can make an excuse for a woman doing this. We can paint a picture. We can make it look nice. We can minimize this as much as possible. Because we got to, no matter what a woman does, we got to make sure to sit up there and protect her, no matter what evil deeds, even if she does the same exact evil, if not more than a man, we have to sit up there and protect her. So you said, why am I pitting men against women? Right. So I'm making sure. I want to make sure that I'm not misreading or misquoting this lady's comment. Right. She said, why are you pitting men against women? No problem. Right. So let me just go back. Let me just highlight these comments here. So right, I gotta highlight your comment. The first comment directly up there that was listed by a person. Let me see. Can I minimize that or no? I think y'all can probably see it on my screen. It's a little bit different. The first comment up there, the woman underneath the video wanted to sit up there and say that black men are cowards. And the video had to do with a black woman stepping into the face of a Hispanic male over his family, over his child, a child that is not hers. She don't have no relations. They ain't never dated. They don't see each other. They don't know each other. But she decided as a black woman to get into his face and to start mushing and pushing, basically assaulting that man over something that has nothing to do with her. So see how you set up there and said like, oh, why am I trying to pit, men against women? I'm not. I'm an equal opportunist. You might not have been here when I did the previous video, but I did a previous video on YNs. If you don't know what that is, look it up. So I didn't hear nobody sit up there and say, why am I putting men against women and all this other type of stuff? Why am I singling out black men? And I didn't get none of those comments, or at least I didn't see them. So it's like I said before, it's crazy to me that when I start giving the same energy to women, now it's like, oh, you're very divisive. Why are you sitting up there putting men against? Come on, miss me with this, miss me with this, dog. Miss me with this. So what was it? Demel May, right? You said I sound like a tether. Cool, no problem. Um, explain to me, how am I a tether? Explain to me on that one. Let me just highlight that. Let me just take this directly off. Let me just put that comment direct. Explain to me, how am I a tether? Explain that. And for the mods out there, please don't ban them. Please don't ban them. Let this one rock directly out, because I want to hear specifically, because there's a lot of claims out there that people tend to sit up there and make. And I allow people to explain what it is that they state and the evidence that they have. Like I said, I have no problem, right? If I can come directly online and list a lot of these stories and talk about these stories and give my opinions, then by all means, I should be able to sit up there and take some criticism as well too, as I have done over these years. And I've showcased that criticism and also responded back to those criticisms, either by way of just me verbally talking just off the cuff, or in response by using other evidence such as statistics, such as stories, news reports, or other videos that I can happen to get directly online. One way or another, I respond directly back to the criticism, or I'll just go directly to the comment section and respond directly back to that person. But again, to this Demel May, I want to know specifically, how am I a tether? That's what I want to know. Let me know. Oh, Tippy said, said you happy early or belated birthday. No problem, Tippy. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Tippy said a lot of black women need to stop doing that. Like, man, stop invading the personal space like that about the fight. Stop. No, hey, like I said, I'm just waiting. Like I said, I try to give people time. I try to give people time. Like, if people want to sit up there and make, because like I said, there's been women that have pulled directly up to the scene, and they've called me everything but the child of God. And I'm like, all right, so if you say that I, as a black man in America, am a contributing factor to other black men doing these crimes, show me the black women that I have specifically put hands directly on. Let me know. That's all I'm saying. It should be fairly easy. It should be fairly simple. If I'm detrimental to the black community as a black man in America, let me know what it is that I've done in your community to have been detrimental. Let me know how I have negatively impacted you and your money and your family and the black women that you know of. Let me know how many of your friends that I sat up there and just got pregnant. Let me know. Let me know how much back child support I basically owe them. Let me know. Let me know how many of your homes and houses that I've broken directly into, and the stuff that I've. Let me know. Like I said, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So Dorsey said, so since we can't seemingly get the Mel May that just wanted to pull directly up, can't get that person back. Dorsey said, instead of walking into this trap, you could highlight the positivity between black men and women. Equal opportunity to speak on our downfall doesn't do any good. For every negative story that you show, There is a positive one you could be highlighting. The world already talks down on us enough. As a black woman, I do not talk down on men like this, but this energy just creates more division. You know, the craziest part is, um, I've actually done positive stories. I've done some, a few dedication, positive videos directly out there. Tippy seen it. I did a video dedicated to black women of all different shades, because black women be like, yo, black men don't love, specifically my shade of being a black woman. I'm like, all right, no problem. I got the lightest. I'm talking about from an albino black woman to the darkest of the darkest, most melanated black woman. And that song, it was about like a 30-second clip, I think it was, Tippy. It was by a song from Seal called Kiss from a Rose, one of my favorite songs. And that is the video that I set up there and put directly up there. That is me basically, in a sense, showing love, showing admiration towards black women. Do you really think that that video got any looks? Nah. Do you think that any of the videos that I do when I'm positively speaking about black women really get any looks? And nah. You think any of the videos that I do about positive black kids doing inventions, being smart, black men out here building, taking care of the community, looking after the community, do you really think that a lot of those videos actually get looks? And those are positive videos? Nah. So like I said, I need people to miss me with the whole thing of people saying that, yo, you need to start, really doing some more positive stuff. So you said, so you are giving them what they want, question mark. And you said, so this is about money. I want you to understand that when I first, so Tippy and a few others know, when I first started YouTube, I had about like 72, 75 subscribers, right? This was like years ago. And I lost 3 of them because they were obviously Trump supporters, right? But then over time, as I started covering stories, I started gaining subscribers, right? In order for me to even make money, you have to reach a certain point on any social media platform in order to even monetize. My first video that I did hit 2 point something million views. I never got paid for that. That was my very first video. That was my first viral video that I showcased and did. And that was on the original platform. Didn't get paid for that. I wasn't monetized. I wasn't getting no money. And I was still talking the exact same way that I talk now. Actually, if you speak to some of my moderators that have been here for the longest time possible, my mouth was actually way more reckless. It was way more reckless. And it was for everybody. I didn't care who you are. I've actually calmed down over the years. I've actually calmed down quite considerably. I got to pat myself on the back for that. I think I'm actually doing a fairly good job at tempering myself when it deals with a lot of stuff. But it's crazy to me that whenever it deals with social media, the main go-to that people say is like, "Oh, so it's about money." No, money was an afterthought. My main thought was telling the stories that needed to be told. Having an area of which black people could come to hear news and to get information and things of that nature. That's what I did, and that's what I'm still doing. Again, the money is the afterthought. The money comes later. It's not first. You're not starting YouTube automatically making money. This is not TikTok. This isn't X where you can pay, $4 or $9 and you can, start getting engagement and start getting the analytics. No, you got to actually work. You got to put in time. You have to put in effort. Originally, I spent more money trying to build this than actually earning anything. That's what you don't know. That's what you don't know. Because I'm pretty sure you probably don't know what it actually takes to get into social media and what it takes to actually keep this up. Like the amount of money that I've literally spent in one go just to try to like get some stuff like where it needs to be, insane. But like I said, you wouldn't know anything about that because in your view, from listening to me and looking at the live stream, you must assume and think that it's all about money. Just saying. It's crazy work out here. It's diabolical. Yo, Sonny, what is up? 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 And the other thing that I want to sit up there and state, I'm like, so would this be in a sense categorized as like as pocket watching? I'm just wondering. Because this is not the first time that I've gotten comments like this where people are like, "Oh, so you're only doing this for the money." So, do you not understand I talk about white people on this platform? Like, do you not understand I talk about I don't care if you're white, Caucasian, European. I don't care if you're Christian, I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care if you're Catholic, I don't care if you're Jewish, I don't care if you're from the LGBT. I don't care if you are a minor of any community directly out here. If you've done something to be directly out here and it's negative, chances are very great is going to be on this platform. It is going to be showcased. So back to what's the lady's name? Dorsey. I talk about every group directly out here, and I try to be as even as possible when I do these things. When I try to spend time, and this is actually spending time because I'm giving time directly to these topics. I'm giving time to respond directly to comments. I'm giving time to respond to other people who made a response underneath, any of my videos. And the main thing that I commonly ask of people is that if you got a problem with what it is that I'm doing right now, have a problem when I'm speaking on white people. Have a problem when I'm speaking on Hispanics out here, when I'm speaking on the Jamaicans, the Islanders directly out here, on the Asians directly out here, on the LGBT out here, on the Africans out here, on the Europeans. Have that exact same energy and say that I'm just causing division. Don't just say that, oh, well, you're doing these stories about, black people, but I feel more so offended because you're showing off black women right now and rah, 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 rah. Because like I said, the last live stream, it was about YNs. I didn't see nobody with your type of energy showing up to that live stream, sitting up there telling me like, yo, Cedric, you need to pull back on this. Rah, rah, rah. Now, there was somebody listed in there as a YN, and that's to be expected. But I'm just sitting up there saying in general, that's not what I normally get when I highlight and talk about black men. I'm just simply looking for the same energy all across the board. If you're going to have a problem with how it is that I speak here on these stories dealing with black women, have the exact same energy when I'm speaking on young black men and black men in general. And within those stories, you will hear me in quite a few times directly, throughout. I'll say we when I say black men. And that means that I am not below or above any black man directly out here. I'm on the same playing field. So I see the problems. I see the issues. So as a black man that sees it, I'm going to spot it. I'm going to point it out. And then I also give solutions directly to it to hopefully get a fix or to at least start a fix or at least to have a general conversation around that topic. But you said, right? So you said never heard of you before, very aware of how social media works, but I just wanted to get an idea of your MO. I would have said the same thing. I'm personally tired of hearing it from any of us. Well, this is the thing. If you're tired of basically hearing it, then do something to stop it. Right? Be proactive. Whenever I sit up there and put people to task, and I'm like, all right, so if you're tired of me talking about negative stories, then be proactive in your community, be proactive in your families, and make sure that none of your family members become any of the stories that I talk about. Because I keep telling people, at a moment in time, somebody's family is going to show up here. Even if it's my family, they'll be highlighted directly up here. Like I said, you will be up here. I have no qualms directly about it. It is what it is. If you did it, you getting highlighted. And it's being shown. Like I said, ain't nobody going to be sitting up there getting no defense from me on here. It ain't happening. But all I'm sitting up there saying is be proactive within your family and your community. Stop a lot of these things from sitting up there happening. The same way that people always tell black men, like, yo, we need y'all to be president. We need y'all to be protectors. We need y'all to be fathers. We need y'all to care about black women and da, 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 rah, 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 rah. I need black women to sit up there and go out there and start doing that exact same thing that they ask of black men to do every single day. Because by me covering these stories, I'm not seeing any of those things at all. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not seeing none of that at all. Like I said, where are the fields of black women to sit up there and speak on any of these stories that I just covered? Where are these sisterhood groups to go directly in and to start to have these conversations and to put out a public type of video or information trying to, call people forward. Like, if you got some problems, if you got some mental problems, whatnot, or whatever, you're like, yo, come to us. Like, we will help you. We will work with you. Where's all that? Because I can sit up there and at least see black men trying, right? We got barbershop talks. We got all these other platforms where black men will literally talk about black men issues and problems openly. They'll be as naked as possible talking about this and open to any and all criticism. But even with black men doing that, the thing that I've noticed is that they still get crucified. They'll be like, oh, well, instead of black men talking about this and having a podcast, that's not doing anything. Why don't you actually get off the podcast and go out into the community? But you have black men in the community actually doing stuff. But you know what happens? Because those black men are moving in silence, you still got black people in the community still saying, while those black men are moving in silence, doing for the community, still saying that black men ain't doing nothing. So it's like, it don't matter if you make a platform to highlight this and you're actively doing something, or you didn't make a platform and you're just moving in silence. You're still going to get black men ain't doing nothing out here. Even though I've done live streams and videos pointing out black male groups around the United States who are, like, for one case point, it was CBS. They did a story about a group of black fathers that went to a problematic high school within the community, where they gave the percentages on the amount of fights that were happening in between the students there. And it was at a high rate. It was like, some like 60, 70%. It was pretty much every day at that school that their kids went to, a fight was breaking out. The fathers banded together. It was about 7, 8, maybe 10 or 12 of them. And they were like, you know what? We're going to be the reason. We're going to be there and to stop these fights. I kid you not. They pretty much got those fights down to probably about 10 to 5%. From the upwards of 60 to 70, just because they were there and present. But do you think that people are really going to highlight that and talk about that? No, they're still going to say that black men ain't doing nothing. Or better yet, even if those fathers are doing it, they're still not doing enough. So it's like a lose-lose situation. It's like a lose-lose situation, realistically. Like I said, it's crazy. Ma'am, I'm responding back to the comment. I'm giving some context. Some things are layered directly in there. And I just want to also note in my responses, I'm actually being respectful. Like, this is somewhat the most respectful that I've been in a very long time. Like, I'm talking pretty calm. I'm talking, pretty much pretty respectful. I'm not yelling or, or hollering or whatnot or whatever. I mean, I think the conversation is actually going fairly well. Right? Previous comment, you said you're not highlighting those stories. They happen every day. We aren't talking online. We're talking in circles, prayer groups, and community meetings. I've been doing the work, so you're not. So because you know of the work that you do, you can then look at me by way of what this conversation and maybe just this live stream, and you can sit up there and state that I'm not doing the work. I'm not doing the work. Okay. Whatever you got, coach, you got it. Like I said, I'm at the point where whenever I happen to see a woman sit up there and tell me what it is that I'm not doing, you got it. I'm not going to do anything to prove you wrong. Like I told people before, the moment in time that people basically, say that, I'm this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. No problem. Let me just stand there and sit there. So you got something to actually complain about. I'm just, so wait, you said that you didn't say that? Huh? Let me hold on. So you're saying that this comment above that you didn't say, wait, hold on. Let me just highlight this. So wait, hold on. You said I didn't say that. Just observing your content. I'm highly confused. Brother, what? So wait a minute. Let me read this again. Let me just go back up. Let me read this again. So it says the E. Dorsey at 5:23 p.m. I'm not sure which platform you're typing on, but you're typing on one of the platforms. It said that you're not highlighting those stories, right? They happen every day. We aren't talking online, right? We're talking in circles, prayer groups, and community meetings. I've been doing the work, so you're not. What did I miss? What did I what is that what did I miss? What didn't I observe properly when I read through the comments that you were leaving that you can tell me that that's not what you were saying? I'm a little bit confused. I'm highly somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody else is in the comment, let me just put it like this. I know that I wear glasses, right? So eyesight is whatever. So maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe my corrections, like maybe I need some lens corrections or something. But did I not just sit up there and read the comment there? I'm a little bit lost. I'm confused. I'm a little bit confused. Like I'm not even. Okay. So now you give some clarity. You said, brother, you said that black men are out and trying to do better, but you don't see the evidence of black women doing the same. I merely stated that we are also doing the work. I'm responding to your words. Okay, I got you. No problem. So thank you for the clarity and context. So what I'm saying is this, right? What I'm saying is it's a double-edged sword. It's a lose-lose situation when it deals with black men. It doesn't matter if we stand still. It doesn't matter if we are the cause. It doesn't matter if we're trying to fix the problem. Any which way you slice it, it's all wrong. We're not doing more. We're not doing better. We're not fixing anything, right? And in my response, when I'm looking at a lot of these videos that I do, right? And again, like I said, I am a black man with a platform where one platform at a moment in time when all the videos are up, I had about amassed 50 million views in a short amount of time. The platform that I'm on now, I think it might have about 16 million views. So you can do the math, directly on that. And what I'm saying is that with the platform that I have highlighted negative stories where black men in the black community are doing this, that, and the third, and all this other type of stuff. I'm talking about going off. I'm talking about yelling and rah, 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 all this other type of stuff, right? And even had some arguments here and there with black men. But like I said, I'm a black man with a platform, and this is the way for me to try to highlight and fix and to try to get some things basically going. Right. And again, this is me just being bare, even throwing my own, situations and stories directly out there, right? Trying to be as transparent directly as possible. And what I'm saying in response is that when I cover a lot of these stories, the same type of animosity, the same type of angst, the same type of hatred, the same type of energy that I would normally see black women give to the same context of the story if it was a black man doing it, I don't see that energy when it's a black woman committing those exact same crimes. That's all I'm saying. So for me, I'm not seeing the work. Like you say that you're doing the work, that's great. That's cool for you being an individual, right? What does that mean for the rest? Because what is that? Something down, messing with my rounds. Right? Something pink and something else is brown. Right? I can sit up there and show you a whole host of black women online dancing directly to that song with their kids. But yet, we got important stories like what I just showed you here that should actually be focused on. Instead of trash, instead of nonsense, instead of garbage that is not going to sit up there and get nobody nowhere but pregnant. And around and with the exact same men that put them in the exact same circumstances. Like at least for myself, I've been honest about situations that I've been in, and I've case in point stated that, I'm at fault. It's like, yeah, this situation happened, but realistically, if I put myself out of that situation, there is no situation. I have nothing to talk about. So I myself, as the man that I am, I need to sit up there and do better. That's me sitting up there being honest. That's how a lot of men on social media are actually honest. When it deals again with a lot of women out here and them being honest, that is not the case. Somebody else is always the problem, even though they are the focal point and the reason that the problem even exists. So, like I said, for you being an individual, it is great that you can sit up there and say that you are doing the work, but that is not speaking for the rest of the folks directly out here. It's not. And like I said, I try to do this as balanced and as even as possible. You just ended up on a day like a lot of people tend to do. If I happen to mention something about black women, magically people want to sit up there and pull up to the scene. Magically people want to pull up, but oh no, we are not done yet. We are not. We are not done yet. Oh no, 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 no. We got a few more. We got some videos that I was supposed to put up that were a part of the stories. And let me see where those at. They said nothing is matching the file. Hold on, let me see. Nope. Okay, so yeah, that's not it. I'm trying to go to these files real quick. So we got number one.
Krieger, a woman is in jail after deputies say she shot her boyfriend while arguing over breakfast food. Deputies in St. John the Baptist Parish say 24-year-old Tamira Hubbard shot and killed her boyfriend, 23-year-old Joshua Jones, while the couple argued over the food that was made for breakfast. Investigators say Hubbard called 911 Sunday morning from a home in the 100 block of East Lakeview Drive in LaPlace and told responders she shot Jones in the chest. By the time deputies got there, Jones had died. Hubbard was arrested at the scene and booked with second-degree murder. The sheriff's office asks anyone with additional information to contact detectives. That's the latest from the First Alert.
So we heard that, right? That woman shot and killed her boyfriend over food. I got nothing for you. I don't know what to tell people. So, I do not know what to sit up there and tell people. I don't know what to sit up there and tell. I just don't. Because like I said before, on an equal playing field, people will be outraged about this equally. But we all know in general, just sit up there and be honest here. Nobody realistically cares if a black man loses his life. Now, if I reverse this story and it was a black man that took the life of this woman, you know what people would say? Oh, he was colorist. He hated his own. He didn't really love black women. He was probably gay. He was probably on the DL. Femicide rates, murder rates amongst women, black women are not safe around these men, and rah rah rah, all this other type of stuff. And then you would have the superheroes show up and sit up there and say, like, man, I got sisters out here, I got moms out here, I got aunts out here. Like, man, don't ever let me sit up there and be in the same room as this type of dude. Like, I sit up there whoop de whoop and rah 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 rah, and I really put hands directly on him for sitting up there treating a woman like this. You've been ever right, all of that stuff, right? But like I said before, from both of those same groups, I never see energy when it's the reverse. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That is all I am saying. I don't see the same energy. Don't see the same energy at all. No rah rah rah, no type of motion, no type of this, no type of that. But like I said, it'd be like that. So let's just check out the next one.
Bullets left in the clip. That's what detectives say Shaquavia Willis told them after she shot and killed her boyfriend in North St. Louis County. Prosecutors charged her with murder today. The shooting happened yesterday outside Willis's home on Iguana Terrace Drive. Investigators say the shooting stemmed from a fight between the couple.
Color me surprised. Another woman, and this one had some batwing eyebrows, over a simple argument. She decided that she wanted to take the life of her boyfriend over a simple argument. So nowhere in there did it say that her life was threatened. Nowhere in there to say that he had a gun, that he was strangling her, that he was planning to get a hitman directly on her, that he was trying to rob her. What else do people normally sit up here? Trying to threaten her. Whatever people can normally state negatively about black men, I didn't hear none of that from the news. They said it was over an argument. She shot him. And if you look directly at the spot, I think they zoomed in. I'm gonna have to take the image down. That's the man's hat. Right. And I actually think if I go back to one of these stories, I think I might actually have. Let me see. Did I read off that story? I did not. I actually have a few more stories left. I actually got a few more stories left. All right, so let me just read a little bit more information about the this one here. What is the name? Shaquana or whatever it is. So let me just read this one off. They said that a woman that police stated turned herself in after shooting and killing her boyfriend was charged Wednesday. Shaquana Willis, age 29, of St. Louis, was charged with second-degree murder in connection with a deadly shooting of her boyfriend, 33-year-old Christian Stewart. Willis turned herself in after allegedly shooting Stewart and was charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. And then, according to police, Willis was driving Stewart home Tuesday, and Willis noticed that Stewart talking on a video conference app to his ex-girlfriend and her child. Willis decided at that point to end her relationship with Stewart. They lived in different units of the same apartment complex in the 11,800 block of Iguana Terrace. After they returned home and were parking their cars at about 4:30 p.m., Stewart began to follow Willis to her apartment. Witnesses report hearing shots, seeing a man running away from a car, a woman getting out of the car and advancing on the man while shooting. Willis told police that she started firing while in the car and continued shooting as he ran away. She told police that she only stopped shooting because the gun, the weapon's clip had been empty. So if she would have had a drum, if she would have had a 100-round drum, he would have been looking like Swiss cheese. Gotcha. Responding officers found Stewart suffering from at least one apparent gunshot wound. The victim was pronounced deceased, and Willis turned herself in. Willis told detectives that she obtained a firearm 2 weeks earlier. According to a statement, Willis and Stewart had been in a romantic relationship for about 1 year. Detectives from St. Louis County PD's Crimes Against Persons are leading the investigation. So basically, it was on some Jonathan Majors type stuff where she decided that she just wanted to wig out on somebody because of what she assumed or what she perceived. And she decided to use the firearm that she just got, not to defend herself from a criminal, from an armed robber, from a potential would-be anything. She decided to use it on her boyfriend that she was in a 1-year relationship with. She didn't ask no questions about the conversation or nothing of that nature. She just saw it and she was like, okay, well, it's over. And I'm going to make sure that nobody can sit up there and have you, since you obviously are with somebody else. Even though, again, she assumed, she didn't ask any questions. The guy wasn't even able to respond, to even give anything at all. And she just started shooting at the dude in the car. Close proximity, mind you. The dude had to get out and start running for his life, and he didn't make it. Proof of which, this is exactly why you see his hat sitting directly on the ground, along with some items directly from his pocket. Wow. 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 That's diabolical. It's diabolical work, let me tell you. Diabolical. Like I said, I'm not even sure if that might have been his kid or not. Don't even know. If it was, well, that's yet again another father that is not going to be there in the black community to be able to help raise a child. But I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to list these things directly in whatever statistics that they want to talk about. Black men always abandoning their responsibility in their kids. Nobody's going to, nobody's going to bring that up. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Right. So let me see. Okay, yeah, we did the one for the breakfast food because that was a video, and this one was $400,000 bonds. Yep, we got that one as well too. So let me see, mother of five. I think I want to say I thought we covered that, but it does not seem like we did. Did I? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Nope. Let me go back to my images here. Hold on. Give me a quick second. Let me see. I thought I read this one. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I don't think I had it up there. Possibly I might have missed out, but whatever, we're just going to sit up there and go over it. They said a woman has been sentenced after convicted of killing her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter. According to a press release issued by the Harris County, 33-year-old Shauna Hui was sentenced last week for the killing of her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter. Per the release, Hui was tasked with taking care of Alexander, the young girl that you see in front of you, along with her own 5 children. Alexander's father. So I just want to put this in parentheses. So this is about 3 or 4 stories that I've covered where black men, black fathers are there and they're present in their children's lives. But they're not no longer in the lives either of the kids because either the woman took the life or the woman took the life of the man or the woman took the life of the kids. So they said that Alexander's father had sole custody of his daughter and worked night shifts. The 4-year-old began living with Hui and her children after she began dating the girl's father. Due to his work schedule, Alexander's father stayed with family members closer to his job and seldom saw his daughter. Alexander and her father communicated primarily through video calls, and he did not see his daughter for at least 2 months before her death. On September 7th, 2019, Hui took Alexander to a 24 wait, I think that was supposed to be a 24-hour emergency center. According to authorities, the little girl was already cold when she arrived at the clinic. Hui told police and medical personnel, quote, at least 4 different stories about what happened to the little girl, who police stated had a visible black eye and other injuries. Hui stated that the 4-year-old was not acting normally and taking labored breaths after being woken up. Hui went on to claim that she drove the little girl around in a hot car before going home to change and drive her to the emergency clinic. Hui claimed that the girl ran into a doorknob and then into a separate account, claimed that the 4-year-old threw herself against a toilet paper holder. The examination showed that Alexander has suffered repeated past abuse injuries that were fresh, resolving, and others that were fully healed. An autopsy revealed that Alexander died from blunt force trauma to the head, with authorities writing that the injury would have resulted in seizures, vomiting, dazed reactions almost immediately. Witnesses testified that Alexander acted normally the day that she was taken to the clinic. Authorities investigated the case and later charged Hui with murder. Following the 9-day trial, a jury convicted Hui of murder and sentenced her to serve 50 years in prison last Wednesday. Quote, we have to work together as a community to protect our children who are particularly vulnerable to abuse from violent adults. We are thankful to the jurors who recognized that this was not a single incident, but a pattern of abuse and rightfully sentenced this woman to spend decades behind bars. The 33-year-old must serve at least half of her prison sentence before she is eligible for parole. Wow. It's diabolical. That's diabolical. Mm-mm-mm. Like I said, I don't know what to sit up there and tell people. I don't know what to tell people. Like I said, I don't know what was up with the woman. Like I said, there was I'm not even sure if they even asked questions on to why it was that she did this. Like I said, I don't know what to sit up there and tell people. I don't. But I know this is going to be a gaming day for me. Like I said, I gotta I gotta sit up there and take a nice little reprieve. Like I said, sitting up there doing continuous stories back to back. Yeah, nah. Nope. Nope. No. But yeah, like I said, this is crazy, man. Like I said, if it was the other way around, if it was like the father and he did all of this madness and whatnot or whatever, it'd be a whole bunch of hoopla directly from people in the black community about what they would do, how he should get treated, all this other type of stuff. Rah 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 rah. But you can clearly see that this woman did this to this young girl. Like I said, people don't care. I'm just going to be real. Like I said, I've been doing this long enough for a lot of years to go throughout social media, on comment sections, on a variety of videos, on a variety of platforms, so people can sit up there and miss me with all of the like, oh, you're only looking at a small percent. Nah, I'm looking at over hundreds of thousands, if not highly more, because I can't even give you the amount realistically over the years that I've been, looking at this stuff online. And I'm talking about like over 20 years before I was even doing social media. I'm talking about over 20 years. So, like I said, I don't know, man. You know, I don't know I don't know what to tell you because too many times I've heard and I've sat up there and told women, I'm like, yo, for a lot of women out there, you shouldn't be so trusting and allow men just around your kids. Right. I've even told women that I've known, right, that you shouldn't do that. I'm like, that's dangerous. I'm like, dog, you don't know me from and this, like I said, this is just me being honest. Like I said, I try to be as transparent, as honest as possible. I'm like, you realistically don't know me from a can of paint. I was like that's a risk. Like, I know the type of person I am, and I know I would never do anything, but I'm saying, like, yo, that is a risk. Like, you should not do that. And I told people that I know, I'm like, yo, make that your last time ever doing anything like that as a woman that is with a child or raising a child. Make that your last time doing anything like that. Do you think that they would listen to me? No. No, they wouldn't. They would go consistently back to back to back to back relationships. And I'm like, some people are just stupid. Like I said, I don't know what to tell people no more. Like I said, so when I sit up there and tell people that I've tried to inform people, at least even in my life, or that I was around, not to do something, when I sit up there and tell people that women are going to do, irregardless on how detrimental it may be, women are going to do what it is that women want to do at the end of the day. Even if as a man, you mean the best for them, you are trying to look out for them, you're trying to advise them and tell them stuff, they're going to do whatever it is that they want to do. So this is when I leverage that exact same thing to the guys out here. Don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. Don't sit up there and leave your kids around some random woman that you're in a relationship with, because you don't know who she is. You don't know if she might be jealous that you still, in a sense, have you're not doing nothing with the mother, but you still have to co-parent. So you have phone calls or conversations, but it's strictly about the child. She may be jealous about that. So then she's going to take that out instead of going at you. She's going to take it out directly on the next closest person, which is a reference point to the woman. Because what she really wants to do is go after the woman, but she knows she can't do that. So she's going to sit up there and go after the child by proximity. Like I said, the same exact thing that I sit up there and say to women, and women don't listen. For the guys out there, please don't be stupid. Please don't be stupid. Use this story directly as an example of don't allow random women that you are seeing to be around your kids. I tried to be as vocal as possible. I tried to be as honest. I try to be as transparent and give the same information to women directly out here. Women refuse to listen. So please, man, don't be stupid. This is just a clear-cut example of what stupid looks like. When you decide, it's like, all right, I get it. You are working. You're doing what it is that you're supposed to be sitting up there doing, and you got to live closer to the job. Maybe there might be no room for the girl to, really be there and have her own room comfortably and all the other type of stuff. All right, cool, got it. Understand. But due to the fact that you left her with somebody that you felt was good, you didn't actually, venture out. You didn't actually check to see where that person's heart and their mind is. That if it was actually for you and that child, obviously not, because you see what happened. Now this man has to deal with the greatest loss ever. He was trying to sit up there and do what it was that he could for his daughter, and inevitably through that, he lost her because he decided to trust in somebody when realistically he should have just trusted himself. So like I said, for the guys out there, don't do this. Don't do this. Uh Wait, what did you say? You said, and this must be your thing because many folks are saying that there is something wrong with black women. I hate generalizations, and that is what happens in chats like this. How long have you even been here? This live stream been going for like 2 hours and like 20 minutes. Like I said, it's crazy that I gotta like preface like some stuff directly out here. Um, so let me just put this directly out there. uh you'll have, and I've said this before, I got both guys who got issues with black women on this channel, either subscribed or not subscribed, and I got black women who got issues with black men on this channel, either subscribed or unsubscribed. I got both factions directly here who both hate each other. So at one time or another, you're going to happen to see either which one of the factions. But like I keep saying, the only time that people want to speak up about something is when they feel that it's specifically about them. Because mind you, again, if I do videos about black men and then you just got, women in the chat, saying whatnot or whatever because it's dealing with the story, I don't see people like you pulling up to the scene talking about like, oh, this is real divisive. It's like, yo, it's a lot of people in this chat saying that they sit up there and hate black men. I don't see women pulling up to the chat sitting up there doing that. It's like this is the live stream where I sat up there and said, what is the title of the live stream? I said female YNs and YBs are a problem in the black community. The previous live stream I just did that was probably about close to 2 hours was about YNs and black men and how that's detrimental, how there's a cause and effect directly when it deals with the black community and how it is harmful. What is going on? Like I'm a little bit confused. I'm like, so who is this Emma O'Neill? Do you put yourself in the area of being a female YN or YB? Let me know. Let me know. Because I'm just trying to figure out how there could be any offense when it's dealing with these actions. I'm a little bit confused because when I cover stories about black men, I'm not offended. I'm not offended. And in certain times, I'll sit up there and agree with people like, yo, the women, they all right. Y'all got a point. This gives validation. This gives validity. When I cover those stories, that gives validity to when black women want to sit up there and say stuff about black men. It does, because the stories exist. But within the exact same vein, right? If we're going to be equal directly out here, because, you got two halves. When I do stories like this gives validity to the things that you got black men out here saying. Is that not fair? I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused. Oh yeah, D Smith, you out of here. Don't ever pull up to this platform trying to tell any of the other, and I'm not saying that I don't got love for the guys out here. Guys can, we already know what it is. It's all love out there. But don't ever sit up there and roll up to this platform and tell any of my female moderators here to shut up. I want you to know that the greater majority of the moderators that I have here are women. So you're dumb. You're highly stupid. You are stupid. Let me put this out there for any guys directly out there. If you're stupid enough to say anything dumb, stupid, or deaf to any of the moderators, and the greater majority of them are women, you're automatically getting banned to the shadow room. I might not even see your comment because I'm a little bit late on the comment sometimes. I'm not really on time. Shout out to D Money because he's been pointing that out for the longest time possible. But you're dumb. They're going to pack you on up. There's not. You're going to just have to make another Google account, sir. You're going to have to come back and play again next time and see if you can decide to jump stupid, or if you're going to temper yourself and sit up there and play nicely. Like I said before, like, yo, a lot of y'all just be sitting up there moving stupid for no reason. For no reason. You said, wait, let me make sure I didn't skip another comment from you. Hold on. Let me just go back. Let me just make sure. Okay, so let me just highlight that because you said this must be my thing, so nothing is underneath that. So then your next comment, you said, I guess that's supposed to be you're pointing at people and not offering community solutions. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm not offering community solutions? Did you not just hear me sit up there and speak directly to the men where are people just dear God, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be okay. Woosah. All right, we got this. So, ma'am, did you not just hear me earlier? When I gave the example, when I stated that I, as a black male in America, being with and knowing other black women out here, I've specifically told them to their face that don't you ever sit up there and have a random guy around your kids, and that they chose not to listen. So I'm like, okay, cool, fine. So then I use this story here to levy the same response that I gave to black women, but now I'm giving it to black men and telling them, don't be stupid. Don't do what it is that you see black women out here doing, where they're in back-to-back relationships, allowing multitudes of men to be around their kids, of which they don't know. They don't know those guys from a can of paint. They don't know what propensities they have. They don't know what potentialities they are that they may have as well too. You, as a black man that has a daughter or a son, kids, whatnot, or whatever, you don't know what propensities these women out here have. You don't know what their mentality is. You don't know where their heart is. You don't know what potentially they can even do. You don't know how really they even feel about you. They can give you a picture. They can paint you a picture, but that don't mean that it's the reality. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, when I'm sitting up there, and even before this, I gave an example of something else, trying to be as transparent, as clear as possible, trying to give like a type of solution. And you pull up to the scene and talk about that I'm just pointing out stuff and I'm not offering no type of solutions. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I'm a little bit confused. I'm highly confused. Somebody says, so you just do a horrible interpretation of what you see on the news. Maybe it would help if you spoke English. I mean, maybe, I was going to say a lot of things specifically about your mother, but, I don't know your mother. I was going to go through the whole family line, the whole family tree. But, I'm trying to actually be better as a person. I'm trying to really, really just be better as, as a person. But, it'd be like that though. But I guess, the funniest thing is, you say that I can't really speak English, so you can't really hear me, but you heard enough where you can make a response. You have to be the dumbest smart person ever in life. You just got to be. You just have to be because you really thought that you had something there. And again, doing live streams is potentially heavily opinion based. You're going to hear from the person that directly has the mic. It's not going to be hearing directly from you. You're going to be hearing directly from me. So it's like I'm a little bit confused on if you felt that I couldn't speak English, but you still decided to like sit here like a dummy when you could have flipped through some other live streams or some other short form videos, went to another channel. But due to the fact that you lack the attention and love that you deserve, it brings you right here to a black man so that you can get some type of energy. So there you go. And also, you got your free ticket directly to the Shadow Realm just in case you didn't already have one. So let's see who else I could potentially also ban. Tom said, "Who are you to give parent advice?" It's diabolical in nature. Well, I as a black man, I'm somebody who actually cares. Somebody who has grown up in a single parent household, right? The quote unquote statistic, right? But I don't fit any of the statistical percentages that any of these clowns like to actually bring up. So oops. So within that, I can see certain things and I can understand certain things because I can see both roads. I can see what it would be like if I had my father here, and I can see what it is like when you don't have a father here, and I can see where that could lead and how detrimental it could be to the nurturing, the growth, and the protection of a child. So, yeah, I would actually say that I have the facilities to actually hold that conversation. I'm just saying. I beat out statistics here. I think I'm a lottery winner. I think I would actually have something to actually mention and say. Growing up in a lot of circumstances, just say. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Oh, D Money said the Lord's work has already been done. I got you. So you were like, I guess that is a solution for young people or people who don't critically think. I mean, I guess. I feel like you were being kind of sarcastic with that response because you was like, "Well, I guess." I'm like, "Is it a response or is it not a response? Or do you already have some pre-written thing that you feel is a valid response that you want me to give directly out?" Because, like I said, it's crazy to me. I can give a response and people got an issue, or it's wrong, or I didn't articulate myself enough. I didn't pronunciate. I'm not speaking correct English, and all of that other type of stuff. So, like I said, this is why whenever you happen to look at my videos now, you'll happen to see some mess ups on the titles. You'll see me mispronounce words because I got to the point I just don't care. I'm like, if you're going to complain about something, I'm going to give you something to complain about because, like I said before, this is what people look for. This is what people want. No problem. No problem. I got you. I'm going to give you just that. Right? Beautiful times. Beautiful times. Cynthia said, "You are very articulate." Hey, much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Sham said, "Emma, I swear you look like the other crazy PhD lady who was on here before arguing vocally about black men." Sham, the funny thing is, I think I know who you're talking about. Lord have mercy. I think I know who you're talking about. It's crazy work. Third, I was like, yeah, trolls definitely clock in from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Yeah, probably so. Probably so. That is probably how that works out. DeMarcus said the best parents are people without kids. For real, can teach a lot of parents a thing. Sham was like, "Sorry, Seji, I got tired of Emma. She got the shadow ban." It'd be like that. Well, guess I'm taking that comment directly down. It does not matter. Timmy said, "I care. I'll say stop having kids if you can't care for them. Dealing with mental issues, don't have kids." Sham said DeMarcus said he has raised kids. I mean, I'm not going to say that I've raised, in a sense, but I was there like enough, in a sense. Like I said, it got to the point where I used to get into arguments with people and this was like earlier on. I used to have like people that I would like consider like friends, and they would just be looking me in my face. I'm like, yo, man, you're not actually like a father, right? It's like, it's not actually, like yours and this, that. And it's like, so hold on, let me just step back from this for a minute, right? So this is like a transparency, type of thing. So a lot of people always wonder, why is it that and I can only speak for myself, try to use that as like a reference point, to try to give like a little bit of light directly on that, because again, a lot of conversations a lot of black men don't have, because we're just like, I don't got time for it. I'm just going to keep it moving, keep it trucking, because I don't have time to stop, because we don't realistically, right? Um, but in the time that I was there, um, I would have people vocally telling me who have kids, right? They got their biological kids, be like, yo, you're not a father, right? You just a play dad. Like, you're not, actually just really a father. So it's like, you shouldn't be calling yourself a father, or let the kid, call you, dad, or, anything like that. It's false. And I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, right? I'm like, so I'm sitting up there going to the pediatrician. I'm sitting up there going to like the stay home hospital visits where they gotta do like the brain scan and everything. I'm pretty much going to every single hospital visit. Whatever other type of visit. I'm sitting up there on like the first day of school, walking. I'm sitting up there, picking them up, taking them home, feeding them. We sitting up there eating. We're sitting up there, just having a good old time, just jamming, listening to music, video games, all of that, right? Or just, going out. And I'm like, I'm having all of these experiences and going through all of these things. And I'm like, so are y'all going to be taking like the bus or taking cabs or whatnot or whatever to any of these doctor's visits? Because y'all are more of parents than I am, because the children are biologically yours. Because it's like I'm a little bit confused. I'm like, this is why, because of conversations that happen like this to men, this is why again a lot of guys don't even see the value of even trying to be like a father, or to be a stepfather to somebody else's kids, because there's too many people in the black community that will try to sit up there and tell you that you're not something. But then at the same extent, they want to sit up there and try to tell them, like, oh, we need more black men to sit up there and do this, and that. Why don't more black men want to sit up there and be black women who have kids? Because we're tired of hearing people try to tell us if we are a father, if we're not a father, if we are good enough, or if we aren't good enough, if we're built for this, or if we're not built for this. Like, it's like, yo, it's a very tiring thing. It's very draining. And then on top of that, the amount of loss that you in a sense suffer being a man, being with kids that aren't yours at any potential time. If that woman decides to dip in, like, hey, all right, well, of course we're over and whatnot or whatever. I'm seeing somebody else and I'm married and we're moving to a different state. Yeah, it's done. It's a done deal. It's over. But people consistently want guys out here to attach themselves to women that already got kids. That's only beneficial realistically to the women and the kids, because that woman can again dip off and leave. That guy who has no biological DNA resonance or whatever you want to sit up there and say with the kids, there's nothing he can say about that. It's like, yo, you just got to take the L. You just got to sit there and hold that. Just enjoy the time that you had, and that's it. Move on. Like I said, it's easy for a lot of women to sit up there and say a lot of things because they never actually have to go through that. I've heard a lot of women sit up there and say like, "Yo, I'm not gonna date a man with kids. I don't feel like dealing with the baby mama drama and all the other type of stuff that come with kids." But within the same vein, guys got to deal with the same stuff. And guys again are open and willing to actually date and get married to women who have kids. Shout out to Russell Wilson because he did it, and many other men out here do it. There's a lot of guys out here that got innocent stepkids that are not, of course, the kids are not biologically theirs, but they still take on that responsibility. A lot of women are like, I ain't doing that. A lot of women I've seen online sit up there and say, like, I'll never be stupid enough. I'll never be a fool to sit up there and get married to a man that already got a family, already got kids. So it would be foolish so you're saying that you would consider yourself a fool for doing that. But wouldn't that also mean that you're calling men who do this every day the same stupid, the same fool as well, too? Like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. Uh, what? You said, bro, go talk to some stepdads who have been through it. Most dudes, it's a lose-lose situation. That's why you're told you're not a real dad. Don't know how hard it is to be a biological dad and have to figure it out. What? Dog, what are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? What were you even talking about? Like what you just said right now, it didn't even land anywhere. It doesn't even make sense. It it what? What are- where are we even at right now? What where are we even at? This is not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, you do know that both men have to shoulder responsibilities when dealing with kids, right? It doesn't matter if you're a stepfather or an actual father. You do know if the time comes to defend and protect the child with your life that those men are going to both sit up there and do it. No one man is greater than the other just because it's biological. Like are you stupid? Some of the best men that I would actually consider fathers to me are not even biological. And they've done more for me than my actual father's ever done. So it's like, what are we even talking about at this? Like, this is so ridiculous at when it gets to a point in time. Like, what are we even talking about? Somebody said the child will thank you later, and the mother will try to, especially if the marriage. Hopes this helps. Sham said you are his. No. For me, this is the thing that I said and told people. For me, it didn't really matter what other people were saying. That's why I sat there in silence because even still to this day, shout out to Anthony. He's still like, "Hey, Dad, that's my father." Like these are the words that he speaks to me. Like I said, it doesn't really matter what a lot of other adults within my age range or many other people have to sit up there and say. The only thing that matters is what that child says. The child dictates that. If the child says I'm not the father, then I'm not. If the child says like, "Yo, this is my pops, this is my dad, this is my father," it is what it is. And like I said, I don't care what nobody else got to sit up there and say. Can't nobody tell me different. Can't nobody tell me different. Like I said, shout out to Anthony. Like I said, like I said, it's conversations that men will have to go through and have with people is it's crazy work directly out here. It is 100% crazy work. So uh, you said if you are a stepfather and not a dad to your own, you're dumb. Well, what if the person doesn't have biological kids? Oops. Well. How does that look? How does that work out? How does that fit within your equation? So let's just see what the next part that you had to say. You said shows you can only get women who are in distressful situations and need help. No lady wants to start acting. I don't even know what that means. No woman wants to start acting with you. You are just the helper. I mean, I guess. Okay. So, like, oh, like what you want? Like, I'm a little bit confused. A little bit confused. It's like, well, I would not actually want a woman to just automatically off the cuff be like, all right, let's just sit up there and have kids. Technically, marriage or something like that should be, or at least long term stuff. Something built, a foundation should realistically be there, right? It shouldn't just be some random off the cuff, type of thing and all this other. But like I said, I done went over this situation so many times, and it's crazy that the moment in time that people want to speak up is at certain parts of the conversation and not the whole totality. Like it's crazy. Shane was like, I guess the band hammer is coming down today. Tania, yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Jean Pierre. Okay, I remember. Yeah, I remember you from some live streams ago because I was trying to make sure I got your name, correct. You said my stepfather was the ideal father, way more than my biological father, and to this day, I treasure him and his willingness to protect, provide, and love me as his child. We never used the term step, and yeah, I never heard that term either. I never heard that term either. Like I said before, and this is why I set up there and say it's like, when it deals with a lot of situations, you're not going to put a lot of salt, in those situations because it's not worth it. It's whatever it is. Um, and you just got to view it as people just sitting up there talking because realistically, at the end of the day, that those people are not going to step up. Those people are not going to do what needs to be done. Those people aren't going to care or show up for like whatever is basically going on that you can show up to during those times or whatever is taking place and happening. So like I said, looking back, it was just like it was a wild moment. I'm like, so this is how people that I consider friends basically view and or see me. I'm like, okay, gotcha, duly noted. let me keep that directly in my front pocket. Gotcha. I will remember. I will remember. Gail says Seji is today your birthday. No. That was like the first part of the month. Yeah. Shan was like, it's his birthday month, but I think his birthday was last week. Yeah. Like I said, you already know how I do. I sit up there, I work. I treat every day as like a like a normal day. In a sense. Well, at least, when it comes to this, so I just be up here, I post videos, do, live streams and things of that nature. In a lot of instances, I think I've actually worked on my birthday. Actually thinking about it. Third eye said for every successful step parent situation, there are many more step parent situations that end like a plane wreck. Yeah, and that happens. Like like I said, it's a risk. In life, people gotta, just figure out if you gotta take calculated risks. That's the main thing. You got to calculate the risk. If you can do the risk and you can mitigate, potentially, some things is going to happen. All right, cool. It might be more beneficial. It might be more advantageous, for you to do or go into. But if you can't mitigate nothing and it's just going to be a straight loss if you take this risk, it's like, yo, just don't do it. But like I said, that's talking about the younger version of me, an earlier version of myself. So, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Gail was like, well, happy belated birthday. Thank you, Gail. Much love, respect, and appreciation. D Money said, why you ain't saying something? Happy G Day to you and Floyd. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Tania said, any man that is willing to pick up a child and treat him like their own is top of the fatherhood hierarchy. Oh, that's dope. That's pretty. Like the funniest thing is the way that I looked at it is, and like I said, this is technically going away from the whole main topic, the title. But the way that I basically looked at it is I looked at my situation, right? How I basically went through in life and looked at the various like for high school, the girls during that time or the women during that time, after whatnot. I looked at it and treated it as like, okay, well, I'm going to treat them in a sense how I want my mom to be treated, right? So being my mom is basically, it would be like a package deal. So for me, in my mind, I'll be like, okay, well, you put certain energy directly out there, then things will happen, right? You going out there and you looking at the folks out there and treating it as a package deal. You're going at the situation as positive as possible. So hopefully in return, the same thing will basically happen for me in my situation, being with my mom and everything. So I don't know. That was just like my mentality from like a very young age because I would want to be seen. and and actually love, not like as like a second thought. Um, but yeah, like I said, stuff happens. It'd be like that. I don't know. I don't know. Mo said, isn't today CK Day? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I remember they said I was gonna make that a day. Don't know. Third I said, don't believe the hype. Uh Gail up there laughing at Mo. D Money said Mo. I mean pork ribs. Third Eye said, don't believe the hype about the stepdad hierarchy. No, like the thing I said, like I said, everything for me that I look at is a calculated risk. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you're an actual father biologically or if you're quote unquote a stepdad. You got to sit up there and calculate. You got to sit up there. Like I said, nobody else has to sit up there and calculate anything like that, because at the end of the day, everything can negatively affect a man's living situation and money and everything of that sort, depending on the risks that he decides to take directly out here. So, like I said, I look at both avenues the same way, because I didn't see, some fathers out here go through something completely different. Like I said, and this is another reason why I go, so hard in a lot of these videos and live streams about, fathers. Because shout out to one of my boys, he is raising his child, directly by himself. He has sole custody directly of his child, and he is there every single day. He is cooking, he is cleaning, sitting up there bathing. Well, he don't got to do that now because older. Um, Going to doctor's visits, first days of schools, homework, dinner, all of that, even trips. So, like I said before, for me, I know that black fathers exist, and I respect the hell out of. I don't care if it's a stepfather. I respect the hell out of any black man out here that is willing to be um, a positive effect on a child's life directly out here. Because again, I'm talking about specifically for the guys where it's not your responsibility. Like, yo, that's a lot to take directly on, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit up there and I'm gonna sit up there and do it, and see what it does. I'm gonna do the best that I can sit up there and do. Like I said, I respect fathers, stepfathers, and any and everybody in between, such as big brothers and and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, much love, respects, and appreciation to all of those folks directly out there. Uh, you see, third eye said NASA computers don't even calculate the risk versus being a stepdad. Hey, like I said, hey, I can only sit up there and tell you from my perspective, right? And you got other people that can speak from their perspectives as well too. Like I said, some people are willing to sit up there and do it. Other people are not willing to sit up there and do it. You know, mentor, b-ball coach, parents. Okay, so you said that you was a mentor, a b-ball coach, and a step parent, and each of those situations did not end well. I mean, it'd be like that. The main thing that you could sit up there and look at is that you had the best intentions. That's the main takeaway that you can go directly from it, and then the positive interactions that you did have with the kid. I want you to know this, right? No matter how jaded you may feel, because I know you joking in like the chat and shit, but I know realistically it's like, yo, stuff, it stays with you, because even for me, stuff stays. The main thing that you gotta look at is like the positive interactions. You gotta look at the positive effects that you had directly there. And kids will remember those things. You might not hear about it during that time, during that extent, but once their brain really starts clicking on and they start looking at the variety of men or whatnot or whatever that their mom was around, they kids can sit up there and pick out like, yo, this dude was actually decent. Like he was actually like there. I might not have been like the best kid during that time, but he was actually consistent. He was there. He was trying. right? Like I said, I hear stories like this all the time. I hear stories like this all the time. And it's like, you know, it be like that. But the only thing that you can do is just put your best foot forward. That's all you can do. D Money said, I think it depends on how you become a stepdad and if it is worth it to you. Yep. Yep. Tibby said, people say black boys need more caring and positive fathers, role models in their homes, but turn around and say that stepfathers are lame for doing what the biological fathers should be doing. Thank you, Tippy, for putting that directly out there. That is 1,000. There is not one lie told. Because like I said, when I was covering, like I said, I had black men pulling up to the scene. If you go back and look at the video that I had, and I think I might have did a commentary video, I probably went off on that too. There were fields of black dudes in the comment section calling Russell Russell Wilson, I'm sorry, Russell Wilson, anything but the child of God. They were trying to clown him. Oh, he lame, he's stupid, he this, he that, it's not even your actual kids, and rah, and all this other type of stuff. I'm like, dog, why y'all so worried about this dude being a stepfather to somebody else's kid? It's like, dog, he's in the money and he's in the bracket to do so. He can afford to sit up there. He can afford to like literally adopt 14 kids and still have money. Kids that's not even his and take care of them. Not looking for child support or trying to chase nobody down. But yet you got actual fathers out here that are running from responsibilities, not wanting to actually take care of. But it's like you got more anger and more rah towards a dude wanting to get married to a black woman who got kids versus black dudes out here that got kids and ain't doing really nothing. Where are we at right now? It's like, yo, this is the way that this world is at this moment in time is the most baffling thing. You got more dudes out here mad and got more energy for Russell Wilson than they do for Future. Future done created how many broken homes? Huh? But I got it. Yeah, he the man because he just sitting up there just knocking down like fields of women, even though responsibilities ain't getting taken care of. Shout out to Future. If she ain't wearing an AP, she ain't mine. AKA that's a wedding ring, an AP. Right? So he's married to, a lot of women out there. If they got that AP, they got that expensive jewelry on. But somebody that was willing to actually sit up there and get married to a black woman and sit up there and help her out. And like I listed the main fact. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, for a lot of the dudes that were trying to clown Russell, I'm like, how many of those men would actually put up money to buy the masters for their significant other so that they could have some type of form of financial freedom when it deals with their art, when it deals with their art form, so that they're getting 100%, pretty much 100% of the money. He done bought that woman's masters and gifted them to her. Do you like I said, a lot of people don't even understand the power in that. Prince and Michael Jackson were the main ones preaching about owning your art, owning your work, owning your writings, owning your masters. But a black man sat up there and did this for a black woman and he gets clowned. That's crazy. That is diabolical. What did Future sit up there and do for us here? Nothing. That is diabolical. That is 100% diabolical. Like, it's crazy that we're living in a world where if you got black men out here doing the right things for black women, they get clowned. They get called lame. Like, oh, you're married? You got a wife? Y'all in a house? Oh, you a simp. You lame. You a married simp. What? Like, what are we doing? Like, what is even happening out here? Like I said, like, yo, some of the conversations that I done set up there and seen people have. Oh my God. I'm like, take away the phones, cut off the internet in that area. I don't know what area some of these people live in. Cut off the internet. Because like I said, it's crazy that people want to clown married people, but yet you got other people out here that are just in a new relationship every month. People want to clown married people, but you can't even stay in a consistent relationship for 2 to 3 months. You change bodies more than you change tires on your car. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And people want to sit up there and try to ask me, like, you think what makes you think that you can give advice directly to parents? I can give advice, just like I can sit up there and give relationship advice too. There's a lot of single folks out here that don't got no business saying nothing to nobody because they can't even hold nothing down. They can't even be consistent at a job. So I'm like, bro, you or even at a single apartment. Like, if you can't be consistent at a job, if you can't be consistent in an apartment, if you can't even be consistent in your everyday life, you realistically do not need to be in a relationship. I'm just going to be honest. Just going to be honest. Consistency means that you have to be there. You have to live it. You have to learn. It doesn't matter if it's the good, bad, or the ugly. You don't run from it. You learn from it. You fix it to make sure that it's not going to become a repeat situation. That's what consistency helps with growth. And a lot of people are afraid of consistency. It's not that people don't know. A lot of people are just afraid. Just like how people fear, responsibility. A lot of people fear consistency because consistency means that there is a commitment there, right? Somebody working a job for 4 years, you are consistently there at that job and you are committed to that job. Somebody that's just been at a job for like 2 days and now they're next off to the next job and another to another job, you're not consistent to nothing. There's no loyalty there. You can't even be loyal to a job. What makes you think that you can be loyal directly in a relationship? Good luck. Good luck. You can't even be loyal and consistent with your bills because you're switching jobs so many times. But like I said, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. It be like that. Oh, you said Nick Cannon. It'd be like that. Nick Cannon got a lot of stuff going around. He got a lot of he got some things to sort directly through. And like I said, I never said if a dude has a lot of money makes him a good father. Never equated those two. Money has nothing to do with being a good father. It allows you the ability to do more and to give directly to that child and to heighten their life expectancy, their learning, and different things of that nature. But that's not indicative of being a better father versus somebody who was poor. So, Tibby said, now they clowning Steph Curry, like leave that man alone. No, but that's a different situation. That whole thing dealing with like Aisha Curry and whatnot, the whole situation is crazy by itself. Like the way that like the different reactions and the stuff that she's saying directly online. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, we got it. I'm like, there's nothing wrong, in the sense with Aisha Curry. Nothing wrong with her at all. But it's like, dog, you are somebody's wife. Like, why are you sitting up there like cooking in the kitchen and you got tight clothes on and you trying to like drop it low? I'm like, what are you doing? Are you trying to look for attention from other men? Because you like what are you doing? What are you man, brother? Like I said, it'd have been different if she was like a rapper, if she was like a female rapper. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's a part of the thing for engagement and to get attention. I get it. All right, that's within that whole lifestyle. This she ain't no rapper. She ain't no rapper. She is not no rapper. So I'm like, dog, is you whatever, dog. Like I said, Steph got it though. Like I said, they'll figure it out. That's his wife at the end of the day. He's known her longer than any of us commentating have known them. So, hey, all I'm sitting up there saying is there's a lot of instances of which that I have seen guys out here who are married or whatnot or whatever, and then the women will just start saying a whole bunch of stuff, and now the guy is just looking stupid. And I'm like, it's tough out here. It's tough out here. Tania said that Seji said using integrity with the commitment of being in a relationship. Yes. Tippy said I struggle with being consistent on health and working out. It's hard. That's a work in progress. That's that's more so like going through like a whole, mental thing, but you got to just stay consistent in doing it. Like I said, I used to be very consistent in doing push-ups, and then I became very inconsistent in not doing push-ups. So, like I said, it'd be like that every single day. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sit up there and knock out, 30 push-ups real quick. And then every day goes by and it's like, yeah, I'll probably do it next month. And then next month goes by, and then 2 months goes by, 3 months, a year. So, it'd be like that. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. Sham said I need to organize my studio art. Third Eye said Aisha is being very disrespectful. Like I said, he got it. Steph got it. Beautiful family and everything of that nature. I mean, the parents are like a whole wreck, but that's neither here nor there. But it's people to figure out. Like I said, people will figure out what's happening. Let me see. Jermaine said Aisha's weird. Deshauna, what is up? What is up? You said nah, she want attention, but she also keeps saying that she never wants to marry. She never wanted to marry. Yeah, I heard that too. And I'm like, dog, I'm like, why would you? This is why I sit up there and say, like, there has to be like a PR team or something like that. Cause somebody has to like really give like some type of cues or like a script to like some of these women out here who are married. Cause I'm like, dog, y'all just out here saying stuff, making these dudes look crazy for sitting up there choosing to be in a relationship and get married to you. I'm like, Steph Curry is not problematic at all. The dude just stays focused on basketball. That's all he does. He ain't really in nothing else. You ain't never heard no crazy news about Steph. The only time that you hear something crazy is usually when it deals with her, because she's saying, like, dog, why would you, as his wife, like, yo, I never wanted to get married to even have kids. Oh my God. Why? Why not just keep that? Why not just keep that to yourself? And she said in that same interview, she was like, well, if I got something to say, like, I'm just going to say it. Like, I'm just honest. I'm like, dog, everything don't need to be said. Like, you're making your husband look crazy. You're making your husband look crazy. It's like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, dog. Lord have mercy. D Money said, "Oh, they definitely getting divorced when he retires." Tippy said, "Well, I don't understand the hate that she's getting when she said that she felt that way before getting married. I'm sure he had different things on his mind when he was younger. People change. I don't get it." Sham said, "I don't know. This stuff is over my head. I don't know what's happening." Otherwise, it's just now Sham is basically in the tippy box where it's like, I don't know any of the stuff that y'all talking about right now. Money said facts. Shauna said right. Tippy said, I think Steph already knew that about her. Shauna said he knows what he signed up for. I mean, that's who. You do have some people that know what it is that they sign up for. But I will say it does also get to a point, because there was a clip that was up there where, because usually, like, let's say like if a guy is at a celebration, right, and his wife gets called out, like everybody is acknowledging like his wife and things of that nature. If you saw that man on his phone, just busy in the phone and not sitting up there clapping and not just sitting up there just like being the biggest cheerleader, every woman out here will call him weird, and every woman would say that you need to divorce that man. He doesn't like you. He hates you. He's using you. That's what women would say. Let's just call a spade, right? So in reverse, when I see a clip of Aisha Curry at a comedy show with Steph, and Steph gets, called out, like, hey, everybody's like in the one of the comedians like, yo, we got a celebrity in here, we got Steph Curry, like everybody woo cheering and all this other type of stuff. She's sitting there just sitting directly at her phone, still faced, not being a cheerleader, not clapping, not even smiling, not just even acting, not doing nothing. But I'm like, so when a woman does that, it's completely fine that she's just going through something. Women go through things, every single day. Women go through 1,000, different things, and this, that, and the third. And there's a reason for this type of thing. There's a reason she's on the phone. Maybe they had an argument, or maybe she's worried about this. Maybe she's worried about that. Maybe she's running businesses, and maybe it's like all these excuses people start running off at 100 miles a minute, but nobody levies that exact same quote unquote grace or excuse if a man did that while his woman was being congratulated, right? While people were clapping, right? While people were celebrating. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, if it was the reverse, people would be sitting up there calling that man weird, saying that he don't really excuse me, that he don't really love her, that he's just there for the money, that she needs to divorce him. Hopefully you got a prenup. You need to find somebody else. You need to run. This is a red flag. If, like I said, if it was a man doing this, women all across the board will have everything negative to say about that man and not say anything about him being a child of God. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like I said before, that's weird to me. Like I said, let at a moment in time, I sit up there and it's like a celebrity or something, and basically married. I'm like, yo, you getting celebrated right now? It's like, yo, I'm hooping and hollering. So I'm getting out like some pom poms or something. It's like I'm about to be acting stupid, like, but again, that's just me, right? Because I'm like, yo, this crowd is not going to outdo hyping you up more than me. Like, that's not that's not about to sit up there. That's not about to sit up. I'm gonna act a fool out here. But like I said, I feel like that's in a sense how it should be, right? Because you actually love that, you genuinely love that person, and you're happy that they're getting the congratulations, that they're getting the attention that they fought so hard for, that they deserve, right? You're not going to be sitting idly by just whatever. Everybody else got emotions. You're the only one that's sitting still. That's crazy work. That says a lot to me. But like I said before, Steph got it. That man is a champion. Yeah, he can do anything. And the crazy part is, and this is what I pointed out in a previous live stream, it's like in a multitude of instances, people can point out. You also shout out to the Queen of Accountability. If you don't know who she is, Daphne. If you don't know who she is, check her out on Twitter. She's on everything. She's pointed out the fact that, and that's a woman that's married. She's pointed out the fact that Aisha is basically, she has like weird behavior being a married woman and seeking attention from men directly out there, right? And again, it is very weird to do that because there are videos out there where Steph is focused. Like, that dude is laser vision. He is focused on the play. He's focused on the court. Do you know who I sit up there and see looking directly at Steph? Sitting up there biting a lip, trying to do everything possible to look tempting and to get his attention. I see white women directly in the stands eyeing that man down like he is like some Wagyu steak that they're about to sit up there and eat on a date. But I ain't never see Steph sit up there and give or feed into any of that attention, or talking about that's the attention that he wants or that he craves and that he's not getting that at home. Or none of that stuff. Everything is pretty much positive. It's love. It's God. It's about the team. It's about the coach. It's about Christianity. It's about marriage. It's about his kids. That's what it is. It ain't nothing to try to embarrass his family or his wife. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know what to tell people. For me, I'm just looking at it as weird behavior. I would think that if you are in a relationship with somebody, you would be their first, their main, and their biggest cheerleader. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a weirdo in that, I guess. And I'm fine with that. I'll be by myself on that. But like I said, when I see other people just sitting still and you're not, appreciating the appreciation that your significant other is getting, that they worked hard for since like high school and college, like, yo, that's crazy to me. Like, like I said, I don't know. It's weird behavior to me, man. It's weird. No, Tippy, we know that all they want is the money, but what I'm sitting up there saying is he's not feeding into that though. That's what I'm saying. They're off, those white girls doing, we already know what they're there for. They're off doing their own thing. What I'm saying is he's not feeding into it. He's not giving any energy to that at all. He's not even seeking that attention. But you got his wife sitting up there dropping it low while cooking. I'm like, dog, what is you doing? And it's like, and this is just me being honest. I'm like, yo, I looked at Aisha Curry like respectfully. I'm like, yo, this is like Steph wife, beautiful woman. That is his wife, the mother of his kids. Like, yo, she's good, she's cool, all this other type of stuff. And then it's like now she starts doing like this. Now I got to start sitting up there like looking sideways. I'm like, yeah, the same. But like I said, people you can only see people how it is that they allow themselves to be seen, meaning the picture that they decide to paint. So for the longest time possible, I was looking at Aisha Curry as just like, like the clean type. Like she was just, there minding her business, all this other type of stuff. But then she starts talking, then you start seeing these pictures, directly out there. And now it's like, guess I was wrong. Guess I was wrong. Third Eye said it's amazing how the most good dudes get done the dirtiest. Let me see. Ms. Daughtry said, not at all, just family. All he talks about. Yeah. Yeah. And that's all I've ever seen like Steph talk about. Like the dude is literally happy. Like anytime he talks about like his wife, he talks about his family. That dude is happy. Like you'll see a smile always on this dude's face. And I'm not talking about something where he's faking. I'm talking about like genuinely, like you automatically like just like see it just happening as soon as like the words, because it's like you can just see like the thoughts that he has of like going through like different moments that like makes him happy and stuff like that. I don't know. Third Eye said LeBron James' wife would never. Like I said, I don't know what's going on all over the place. Some things are present, other things are not present. I don't know. It's this world out here. It's a very large place. It's a very very large place. But you haven't seen LeBron. I don't think LeBron's wife has said anything crazy out here. I think it's actually she's to the point where she doesn't even take pictures with male fans. I'm not even sure why she would have male fans or why guys would want to take pictures with her. That is a bit weird because I'm like, that is a married woman. So why would you want to be in a picture with her, weirdo? But yeah, I've seen photos where she'll take pictures with women, and then if a dude was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" She's shooing that dude off, and she is moving on to like the next thing. I'm like, yeah, any dude that wants to sit up there and take a picture with like LeBron's, like, yeah, you weird. I'm like, there's no reason for you to take a picture with another man's like, dog. What are we doing? What are we like? Where are we going with this? Like, that's some weirdo behavior though. D Money said, I used to think that Aisha was cute until someone told me that she looks like W.R. Hines Ward. That's crazy. Timmy said, you would think she would carry herself like Savannah LeBron. Hey, hey. Tibby said, Roman is a good dude. LOL. Roman loves his family. LOL. Sam said, could be a self-hatred issue going on with her, and she's jealous of her own husband. Other people have said that too. And she hates that she's not successful as him. And rather than deal with that, she self-sabotages and attention seeks. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Ms. Daughtry said, not they respect her like she gets the utmost respect. Yeah. Brandon V. World said, I'm back. You said I'm back, got called for work. Oh, wait. So you're home? Wait, are you like home right now, or you're home and you're about to leave out for work? Let me know. Let me know real quick. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure the last part of this live stream probably veered off into like a whole. Okay, you was. I'm back. I got called for work. Okay, so you were at work, so now you're back home. Is that? I think that's what you're saying. Tippy said, "Well, I would love to be in her place. Let's switch ice." D Money said Aisha did say that she wanted to be an actress. She got the money in the backing. She could literally do that. Sham said she should be supportive instead of greedy. His success is hers as well, which is true. If she feels that way, never too late to start something successful. Yeah. Yep. Bria, what is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Brandon World said I was at home and now I'm at work, going to be here until about 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Dang, that's cold blooded, brother. That's cold blooded. I was about to say, I'm like, yeah, I can sit up there and join you for some good old Battlefield because I need to take a nice reprieve directly from all of these stories that I went over. I gotta sit up there and do that. Like I said, I think this conversation, I think the last two conversations were the lightest conversations that we've actually had dealing with like this 3 hour and 20-minute live stream. At this moment in time. So again, I do want to state to the folks out there, hey, the stories for both live streams were a bit heavy. Again, my apologies. But this is the life. When you got to report on a lot of these stories and things of this nature, this is you got to look at a lot of this stuff, and for whatever reason, like I said before, a lot of people don't want to focus in on these stories, and I get it. Like I said before, I get it, and I completely understand because it a lot of these topics are very, very heavy, very, very heavy. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the live stream. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to any and all folks, who have been here, at this moment in time, being able to peer directly into the live stream, being a part of the live stream, leaving comments. Shout out to any and all the folks directly out there that decided to, donate to the channel. Shout out to the regulars. Shout out to all of my wonderful and beautiful moderators directly out there doing the Lord's work every single day. Shout out to I think I did say it to the patrons and many others directly out there. Shout out to the trolls. Shout out to the trolls because, like I say, y'all make sure to pull up to the scene every single time. I kid you not. Tippy said, "Scratch that Seiji game stream." Tippy, I don't do game streams right after, especially like videos like this. It's like, man, my mind frame is like completely different. It's like you gotta kind of just relax real quick and just kind of breathe. Gotta kind of breathe. Wait, what did somebody say in this comment section? Somebody said likes and views is you dudes new god. Facts. What? Some of the I try to figure out because I was about to close out the stream. I just try to figure out whenever I look at some of these comments directly up here that people just like leave. I'm like, how did we get here? What does person say? She said, how can you love and thrive off of chaos? I will never understand because it's never been my life, right? I understand that. In my neighborhood, through high school and college, work through trades, understanding. Also, I want to give a shout out to some of the people who in a sense leave like their life stories directly on some of these videos. Because some of the stuff that y'all be putting directly out there, I'm like, my condolences for y'all actually going through a lot of those stories. I mean, a lot of those things directly out there. Because like I said, some of the stuff that y'all been through, it's like, woo. It's like Jesus Christ. And I'm like, and you are still standing. Shout out to Elton John. I'm like, man, y'all some strong individuals directly out here. Strong individuals. I probably so let me just go back through that. Much love, respect, and appreciation to those out there who have given me, some type of insight to their life stories or the things that they've specifically went through. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Y'all some strong people. Like I said, some of y'all have went through the ringer when it deals with life, and you are still here. You still pushing through. You still prevailing, and you still got things working. Like I said, shout out to you. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Actually, this live stream actually did fairly well. It did fairly well. I wish I could say the same for my videos, but that is not where we are, currently at this moment in time. Like I said, I don't know why that is. Some of those videos I put out, I might have to do like a compilation or something to just put that in just like one large video or something. Like I said, I don't know. Like some of these videos, what is we got one at like 490, another one at like 420. And like I said, the whole thing dealing with the kids, I have a video up there and I only got like 422 views. And I'm like, that's wild. That is wild. Wild. But yeah, I'll probably throw those into like a compilation, type of thing later or something like that. Cause I don't know. Gotta figure some stuff out on that. But yeah, much love to everybody and thank y'all for being here, for giving me time. Directly up here. D Money said this man says he keeps calling us beautiful. I mean, it be like that, man. I look at all black people as very beautiful individuals. And things of that nature. Like I said, no Diddy, on that. But the main thing, I remember a story that somebody told me about Keith Sutherland and how I think his mother rejected him because she felt that he was ugly, right? And I'm like, whoa, I'm like, your own mother said that to you. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That is wild to sit up there and say that to like your own child. And like I said, like sometimes, in life, people don't get like nice things basically said directly, to them. So it's like in my mind frame, like, yo, I'm looking at my people. Like this is how I view my people as being very beautiful people. So, like I said, no Diddy. That's that's how I basically do that. Like I said, man. I don't know how to sit and put it. I don't know how to put it. Goddess Yima said, I think is that supposed to be like rest in peace to D'Angelo? I think I did see that was like I think yesterday. Jill Scott wrote something, and then today I heard the news. So yeah. What was the most says about that's crazy. I'm glad I caught myself this time. I read it. Tippy said, okay, understandable. Eat some ice cream and some cookies. I have cookies. I don't have ice cream though. Tippy got jokes on jokes right there. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man. Gail said peace and love. D Money said they love black trauma. Gail said no the hell they ain't all beautiful. That's crazy. I'm, I'm talking about to the moderators, Gail. I'm talking about to y'all. Lord have mercy. This woman out here. Brandon World said somebody do a quick tally on how many times said you said it be like that. Too many times. Hundreds upon hundreds of times. Gail said, I knew a mother who told her son that he was a waste of. Ooh, that's crazy. Wow. That's some crazy. Like I said, I don't understand. Like, and people got to understand when mothers say things like that to their kids, that stuff right there that hurts. Like if a dad says something, it's like, all right, it hurts, but I could walk with that. When a mother, it's like I said, it's different from when men say stuff to when women say stuff. Women can say stuff and they can like atomize you, like on a cellular level, and then it's going to compound and it's going to show, as it starts to like go through the layers and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. When men say it, it's just like, all right, let me just sit up there and like throw this brick real quick, and it's like, all right, it did hurt. I might have been like knocked out, but it's cool. It's like I could walk with that, whatnot, whatever. Yo, when women say stuff to you, it's a whole different thing. Like it's a multi-leveled, situation. Gail said, "Oh, I thought you were talking about all black people." This man Mo, let me tell you something. Third Eye said, FYI, Kendrick Lamar has comic book releasing this week. Be sure to get that. I didn't even know he had a comic. I mean, I know that Corey got one. I'm taking it's probably going to be like some Kung Fu Kenny. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Gail said, messed up mothers are responsible for a lot of serial deleters. Yeah. Yeah. You're only a part of the few, Gail, that will actually, state that. Other people will be like, oh no, the mothers have nothing to do with it. D Money said, wait, Seji. That's crazy. D Money was trying to catch me too. Yeah, no, I read that ahead of time. Sam says she will verbally cut you till you bleed out if a woman says something. Yeah, and that's when you got like a lot of dudes out here where like if you look at the older guys, they're pretty much like still, and it's like if a woman says something, they not really reacting because it's like they've already built up an armor to it, so it's like they don't have an emotional like reaction to it, and for whatever reason that makes like women angry, and I'm like that doesn't make sense. So it's like you say something because you want him to have a reaction, but then because he doesn't have a reaction, you have more of an emotional response, and it amps you up to 100. I'm like that doesn't make no sense. Shout out to the old guys out here because it don't matter what you do. Somehow you're just gonna be at fault, and people are gonna get angry. Like it's crazy out here. It is diabolical. Sam said Ted Bundy was shaped by his mom. If you look it up, and his type looks a lot like her. Tania Jean Pierre said because these horrid females know that the law won't hold them accountable like males. I mean, yeah, that's true too. That is very, very true. It's very true. But like I said, one of these days, maybe reality will actually happen, and things will actually be treated equally. And when that is the case, I won't have to actually focus in on these stories, technically, in a sense. Because people will be getting prosecuted and thrown directly in jail for the amount of respectful years that they deserve for each and every crime that they've committed, and to never be seen or heard from any of the general public, ever again. That would be great. That'd be awesome. And I can just focus on other stories and put those things directly up there. But that is not where we are. That is not where we are. Let me see. Dre said Charles Manson's mom was crazy too. I didn't know that. Mo said some may call it a sickness. That's crazy. D Money and Mo got jokes out here. That is diabolical. That's diabolical. 50 gigabytes. I don't even own a hard drive. I don't even know what 50 gigabytes even looks like. That's crazy. That is diabolical. I don't even have hard drives to even match that. I'm like, you know how much money 50 gigs is? You know how rich you gotta be to sit up there? Let me because they got jokes out here. Let me see. Let's look at what a 50 gigabyte hard drive would actually cost. Right? So they got the 60. Let's see here. That is not what we're looking for. Wait, is that a SATA? Oh, it actually might be. They said that boy is like 180. Ooh, that's crazy. Let's see, 50 gig hard drive directly out here. 250 is, oh no, that's a portable. I'm looking for just like the standard. Yeah, they just give me like the 2 terabyte. Oh, that is a lot. Wait, nah, that gotta be a lot. They sitting up here saying that they got a 500 gig portable. That's $28. Word? I mean, 500 gigs is not actually a lot, though. You need like terabytes. It's still too rich for my blood. I'm looking at this price, still too rich for my blood. That's extreme. It's diabolical. That is diabolical. Access says you check your. Wait, what? You say you sent a new story? Wait, what was it? Hold on. Wait, are you talking about like Discord? Can I even? I would have to try to even log in. Let me see this real quick. Just trying to do this real quick. Depending on the story, I might just sit up there and I'll put it as like a solo. Actually, it logged me in. I ain't been on Discord in a minute. Let me tell you something. Oh, you said patron. Oh. Do I got that on? Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to open up my other browser to do that. So hopefully the computer will be fine. I can hear my card kicking up right now. Let's see, where did it go? Okay, here we go. Now I gotta remember my login. Just gotta give me a second now. Sit up here telling me, hey, we need you to, we need more space. Crap, what was Lord have mercy. What was the was that it actually? Was okay, I think is that it? Where's my phone at? Let me see. Gotta do all of these checks and balances out here, let me tell you. Yeah, so just give me a second. It's taking me a little bit of time. Do 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 do. All right, so now I gotta swap over there, and then I think. But what is that? Autopilot is not available. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let me see. Let me go to. Is it in chats? Let me see. Direct. All right, let me see. Wait, disturbing behavior at a Kura Sushi, touching sushi on the conveyor belt with bare hands and drinking.
Comes down the aisle and slurping soy sauce without eating it has been spread widely online.
Oh, that's crazy.
It has also been revealed that these girls' nuisance behavior is not limited to food sushi. They have also frequently caused trouble at other restaurants, and their names and schools have been revealed.
So,
The victim, harasser, has reported.
so you got these Japanese girls. I'm guessing it has to be Japanese because we're dealing with sushi here. And I'm looking at yes, Japanese. So you got the story that basically sent is dealing with like some Japanese girls at a sushi restaurant where they got the sushi conveyor. But I always wanted to go to those places because I thought it was dope. But basically, they at a sushi restaurant they have a conveyor belt that will have a variety of different foods, an assortment of foods, directly up there or whatnot or whatever. and the girls are basically touching the food as it passes by, putting their fingers directly in, soup bowls and different stuff like that. And I'm like, dog, what is you I'm like, why do you have to be so weird? I'm like, that there's nothing funny about that. Nobody wants your germs. Nobody wants your bacteria. Like, dog, your hands probably are not even clean. This is the type of thing that makes me mad at people's kids. Like stuff like this, this is why you have adults react to kids the way that they do. And then other adults be like, it's not that serious. You should go get the dog. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. If your kid and just sat up there and put their fingers in my food that I done just paid 90 some dollars for, yo, we got problems. I might be flipping tables. I might be flipping, like we are going to be having problems. Like that shit is crazy. Like I said, you got too many kids out here with no type of home training. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Like that is crazy. That's some real type of like ratchet behavior right there. That's some ratchet behavior of the Asian kind. Like, what are you doing? Like, damn, dog. Like you just ruining stuff for everybody. Like this is why, like I said before, the one thing I highly appreciate about going to get sushi is that you can either do the hibachi, which again, you're watching people make the food, or you can go to the sushi bar that's located at the restaurant and you can watch the guy actually make your food. So ain't nothing weird happening. So, like I said, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm like, at any moment in time that I actually want to go somewhere and eat something, like, yo, I'm probably at the hibachi or whatnot. Like, whatever. This, like I said, that's crazy. That is, man, that is crazy. Oh, yo, Hack, let me just tell you, you just got me mad. Yo, man, you done just, man, let me tell you. Why you had to do that to me? Why did you have to do that to me? Why? Why, oh why? The crazy part is looking at this video, I can now see how the auto dubbing actually works. That's not bad. Auto dubbing is not bad at all. It's not bad. Shout out, shout out to Hack bringing that video directly to my attention and getting me highly angry. Getting me highly angry about that. Oh man, I gotta write you back on that. Like, now I'm angry. That is some crazy work out there. Let me see. So let me just show y'all a clip. Well, not a clip. I can show y'all the what's the name here. Show y'all image of the. Okay, yeah, that worked out. Show y'all image of the video. All right, close that out. It should not really cause an issue. Should be able to just put this up there. I think we took some stuff off. Nope. Shout out to all 31 that's actually currently here at this moment in time. But yeah, this is the story right here that oh, that didn't pull up. All right, let me just take down more stuff. Let me just do that. Well, you might have to turn the phone sideways. But yeah, that's the story right there that Hack is talking about, and it's in auto dub so that even though the person talking is probably speaking in Japanese, you can hear it directly in English, so that you can actually clearly understand it. I didn't specifically post it because you do have issues with channels where they want to sit up there and pull a lot of stuff in the background. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation directly to Hack Attack for sending me that story that has now gotten me angry. And I'm also hungry at the same time. This is diabolical work. So I'm about to go sit up there and search around and see what I can find real quick or whatnot or whatever. See what I can make And yeah, so yeah, y'all go have at it. Thank y'all for being here again, and that is it. Peace out.